Alright, chat. I am behind the schedule today, and it's a shorter stream than usual, and we've got a lot to go through, so we're not going to be waiting a full 10 minutes. We're not even going to be waiting a full 5 minutes. We are... Actually, it has been 5 minutes, hasn't it? Oh well, it is what it is. You should be able to see me any second now. There we go, look at that. We've got a little bit of Slop, we've got a little bit of Trump at the World Economic Forum, and from what I hear... the only alternative to laughing is crying. So since I would rather not do that, we're going to be doing a little bit of laughing at the, you know, the orange fuckwit. Got a little bit of Slop as well. Just, you know, classic Twitter brain rot. Sort of reasons to remind you why this platform is horrible. And we've got a little bit of Nick Shirley, because Nick Shirley's not happy about how his interview with Andrew Callahan went. And he's been sort of... very vocal about it, I'd say, on Twitter. So Andrew made a 15-minute response, and it is pretty good. We'll start off with Trump. Yes, don't worry. We'll do the Slop, because the Slop is like a 5-minute window for all of this, and then we will do the Trump, and then we will do Andrew Callahan. What is this actor's name? Because this has been bugging me. But I know this is an actor, and I've watched movies with him in it. I do not remember what his name is, for the fucking love of me. What is this actor's name, chat? We're going to be blasting this Steve full in a sec, but what is this dude's name? This actor? Because this is bugging me. Yes. Yes, thank you, Diz. Pierce Brosnan. Jesus. It was fucking with me, because I remembered it being... I remember that I don't remember, you know what I mean? It's like the worst kind to remember, because if you don't remember, then you just don't. But when you remember what you don't remember, oh, it bugs your fucking mind. Thank you, Diz. What would we do without you? I suppose you're the same age as him, so for you it's like revisiting childhood feelings, isn't it? Anyway, because I'm digressing, we'll go through the Slop, and then we'll you know, talk about politics and whatnot. I came across this randomly on my feed, and it is... Pierce Brosnan and his wife of, I think, over 20 years, and Steve over here with his, 345 followers on Twitter, saying, "Dear men, this is your daily reminder to avoid marriage." And it's Pierce Brosnan with his wife 20 years ago, and Pierce Brosnan with his wife today. And I was looking at this, and obviously I know what the dude's trying to say. He's trying to shame her for gaining weight over the period of 20 years. But then, obviously, the thing that catches your attention here is something, you know, something very, very aggressively in your face. And I was just thinking that, like, oh no, my wife of 20 years has gone from this elegant, skinny goddess to an absolute mummy with ginormous badoinkadoings the size of my head, is not a complaint that I think I've ever heard from any man worth anything. You know what I mean? Which is obviously... these milkers, that's exactly what catches your attention. It's the fucking massive milkers. And obviously, because somebody's being fucking weird, this is the kind of dude that deserves to die alone, to be quite honest, right? Like, the male loneliness epidemic is a rough problem that the society needs to address, but people like Steve deserve to be alone. They deserve the epidemic. For this lot, it's sort of self-inflicted. And it's obviously followed by one of my all-time favorite reaction images. And I absolutely love it because you see it under almost every single Red Pill post. And it's the still image from Shogun with her asking, "Would you prefer a male companion?" I love this image so much. It's unreal. I'm getting wild fucking mileage out of this image specifically. Hey Ruby, how you doing, love? Thank you for the Prime subscription. 38 months and going strong. Hey Monolith, how are you, my friend? Long time no chat. How's life? Was everything? So like I was saying, men like this are not lonely enough. That is actually true. That is genuinely true. But also it's just miserable existence. But even the miserable existence aside, bro, I don't understand who would look at Pierce Brosnan's wife, like the image of today, right? And like your first thought is that she's gained weight, unacceptable. Over the period of 20 years, and a very solid amount of that weight seems to have gone exactly where men like weight being at. So it's like a whole thing where it's just like, what are you doing here, Chief? What's going on, Steve? Also, Steve's banner is when you show too much love, they play with you like you weak. So somebody's hurt him. Which he deserved, to be fair. It's, you know, some dudes out there deserve to be hurt. Or rather, they sort of become the kinds of people where it makes you wonder if maybe they deserve to be hurt. Steve's one of those. Hey, Hussa, how are you, my friend? Dude, I need to look into this Agatha shit, because it's like, it's the... Agatha is the society that lives in the inner shell of the earth, right? That's like a whole fucking... Is it like one of those weird fucking anti-Semitic things? Because a lot of these conspiracy theories are, and it makes you wonder. Did we start the hype train? It appears that we have, in fact, started a hype train with a single sub. So if any of you want to start throwing subbies my way, now is the perfect time, given that we have the hype train going. But let me not waste any time, for like I said, I want to get to the Trumpo speech. I absolutely adored this. So Elon Musk has been yapping about Ryanair, and Ryanair is pure fucking class because of those Ryanair memes. You know which memes I'm talking about, right? Thank you for the 40 biddies, Husser. Also, this is my first time seeing an on-screen celebration, and that's kind of cool, actually. Also, let me connect my... Hey, Popo, how are you doing? Let me connect YouTube, because I can see that YouTube's not connected into Social Stream Ninja, so you can't see it on screen, but you should be able to any second now. So anyway, Ryanair and Musky Boy have been beefing, and I really like this. So Ryanair posted, at Elon Musk... Ryanair CEO to address/undress Elon Musk Twitter tantrum at Dublin press conference. Ryanair CEO Michael O'Leary has called a press conference at 10 tomorrow, Wednesday 21st of January in Dublin, to undress Elon Musk's latest Twitch shit. Musk knows even less about airline ownership rules than he does about aircraft aerodynamics, said MOL. Perhaps Musk needs a break? Ryanair is launching a great idiot seat sale, especially for Elon and any other idiots on X. 100,000 seats for just $16.99 one way. Buy now before Musk gets one. And this is from the official Ryanair page. Just, you know, it's not like a shitpost. This is officially from Ryanair. And Elon Musk is not taking it well. Elon Musk is in the comments. I've been saying a lot of shit, but the one particular comment I want to bring a little bit of attention to is how insufferable special needs chimp currently running Ryanair as an accountant has no idea how airplanes even fly. Which is, I adore it when Elon Musk calls people special needs chimps, which he's done in the past, because it always reminds me of how Elon Musk's father came forward and said that Elon Musk's teacher told him that they should put him in special ed because he's retarded. And Elon Musk is from the day and age where back then, if a teacher called you retarded, it wasn't an insult, it was a diagnosis, you know what I mean? He's such a fucking muppet, man. By the way, Chris, what do you think about Total War Warhammer 3? Oh, Monolith, bro, I have been bumming the shit out of it in my spare time. I have not been doing... I have been playing a lot of Total War Warhammer 3, I'll be honest with you. It's consuming more of my life than it should be, but I've modded the shit out of it, and every second I spend on that game, I've just been thoroughly enjoying. I do not recommend it to anyone, because you will not do anything else that needs doing. You'll just be sat there playing Total War Warhammer 3, bro. You should start calling me special needs. Why would I be doing that? Moving on from Elon Musk being a... I forgot about this one. I forgot to prep this one. Oh. We're doing a speed round because I really want to get to this Trump shit. What started it though, or did Ryanair just dunk on him unprompted? No, what started it is Elon Musk saying that Ryanair should do something with their airplanes to enhance aerodynamics or something as such. I don't have the whole thing from top to bottom, but it was Elon Musk being fucking weird. Do you remember when Elon Musk said that those kids stuck in that cave in Thailand would be rescued by a remote-controlled submarine? And then one of the people rescuing the kids said that it's a stupid idea and it wouldn't work, and Elon Musk called him a pedophile. It's like that, to my understanding. It's one of those where Elon Musk's just not taking well to criticism. Other people take criticism differently, let's say. I love randomly bumping into shit on Twitter. No cap. It's such a dog shit platform, but it cracks me up. I found this... some person on Twitter is... They're doing the regular Twitter shit. They're saying, women, if men disappeared for 1 week, we could finally breathe, calm our nervous system, walk alone at 3 a.m, not get creepy comments about our looks constantly. Life would be amazing with an incredible sisterhood. Then men saying, but who would protect you? To which the woman responds with, protect us from who? Right? The idea being that you'd need men to protect you from other men. And Will Sass felt some type of way about it. Will Sass said, wrong question. It should be protect us from what? Yeah, how about nature, law of physics, thermodynamics, etc.? Because if there's one thing that I constantly keep my fiance safe from, it's thermodynamics, bro. She was gonna leave the house the other day without wearing a special suit that enhances the fucking air resistance, and I was just like, nah, I would never tell you what to wear, but you will wear optimal fucking clothing for the January Polish air. Also, I've never in my life protected her from... Actually, no. I was going to say I've never protected my fiancé from the law of physics, but a constantly running joke is that I grab her by her breasts quite a lot, and I'm saying that I'm helping because I'm lifting them up so, you know, the gravity isn't doing its toll. And it's like a whole thing. So in a way, I am protecting my fiancé from the law of physics. That one's true. I do that quite a lot. It's a whole thing with me. My love language is very physical. It is what it is. She appreciates it. What a weird fucking tweet, though. And so Will Sass continues, but again, very few women think this far, except putting some characters to blame, while the law of physics still demands the labor of men to keep you from harm. So, somebody quote tweets him and goes, damn, I'm not sure I'll be able to sleep tonight knowing I don't have a man in my life to protect me from thermodynamics. Sad face, crying face. Am I cooked, chat? And Will Sass is back in the trenches, saying be thankful to all those power plant maintenance workers who made sure your home has running electricity to turn on those aircon or heater or lightning. And if you've ever in your life seen an instance of somebody's trap card being activated, this is it. Keep this in mind. Bro he could have thrown down a random form of employment, any other random form of employment, and he would have been fine. But he decided to blast this person with being thankful to power plant maintenance workers. And guess what this person does for a living, chat? This chick is a power plant maintenance worker. Can you imagine shitting the bed this much? Can you imagine having a random fucking beef with somebody on Twitter and how do you come back from this? You don't come back from this, do you? You take the L and you move on with your life. You change your name. You fly over to, like, I guess Thailand or maybe Vietnam. You get a mad fucking spray tan and you just try and become one of the people living there, you know? There's no coming back from this. I just assume 70% of Twitter are bots unless I'm on Spanish-speaking Twitter. It's probably a safe assumption to make, to be quite honest with you. Why would he be tweeting something about Ryanair, though? He's not flying himself, I imagine. Because he tweets about random shit, doesn't he, Cheeto? He does that. Okay, I think we're reaching the end of Twitter Slop. I found this interesting, because I always find shit like this just randomly in the feed. It's like people just beefing, and people beefing over something that I don't know what's going on. So Dead Domain apparently has got beef with Destiny, and I think that Domain wanted to interview him, and he doesn't want to do an interview, he just wants to talk on his Twitch. So Dead Domain saying I tried to interview him, he pussied out. Destiny's saying I'm always down for public convos, but I would never do an interview of a Slop tuber tanky for them to cut up for their YouTube channel, LOL. Niara responds, I guess you're only down to talk to uneducated people you can clip farm by talking fast. To which Destiny responds with, why do people keep saying this, lol? I've done tons of convos, some heated, some calm. If I'm talking down on someone, then it's because they started shouting at me first. I'm like the worst clip farmer on the internet, but keep up the massive cope. And I was just thinking, Destiny is an actual piece of shit, right? No disagreement on that one. I think it's pretty apparent, you know, especially given the totality of what has happened over the last, I would say, year and a little bit. But this isn't unreasonable from him, is it? All Destiny's saying here is that if Dead Domain wants to talk, he wants that conversation to be live. And I feel like in a day and age where Andrew Callahan interviews Nick Shirley starts yapping shit about how he was taken out of context and it was edited, and that gets millions of views more than fucking Callahan calling out the lies. I feel like it might just be a good idea to be doing these things in public. So I can't help but to wonder, like, why is this a thing that's happening? Out of all the... I feel like it's not an unreasonable request. Do you guys feel like it's unreasonable to want to talk to someone live rather than privately? Which I then also don't understand, because Destiny's saying he doesn't want a private conversation for it to be edited. But he records all of his private conversations. He's explicitly on the record saying that he tells people he's not going to record, and then he records anyway. His current court case is, at least partially, also about the fact that he appears to do the same with video footage of having sex with people. So I also don't understand why that specific thing is a problem. I don't understand any of this is just people who will never talk, I think, slinging shit at one another. No, Chris, don't you know that Pixie's losing in court and apparently Rose was 18 all along, so it's fine, he's suddenly not a piece of shit? True, yeah, true. I forgot about that one. I forgot about my most recent fucking DGG. Do you know what actually bothers me the most about the DGG brainwashing when it comes to Destiny's lawsuit? It's the fact that they will tell you Destiny's whole thing, back when I used to be part of, like, when I was a DGG and when I used to watch Destiny religiously, Destiny's whole thing was like, you should research this yourself. You should look at this yourself. You should analyze this yourself. And the DGGers of today are not reading any of the court documents, because even if Destiny wins by the end of it, which appears to be quite likely, especially given the totality of the court case and the vagueness that surrounds it, even with him winning, that changes nothing about the material criticism of him sending sex tapes around without the permission of people in those sex tapes. Something that, even Pixie aside, is what he's done in the past and admitted to. This whole thing is just bizarre, though. I'm tired of people content braining a conversation and putting it online. Well, no, to be fair, I'm okay with people content braining conversations and putting it online. I exist on the internet. I feel like I wouldn't like most of these people privately. I wouldn't want to be friends with them. So it makes sense for there to be like this underlying tone of this is for content in all of their interactions. I wouldn't want to be friends with these people. I have friends. If I want private conversations, I'm not having them with other content creators. Look, Lua, it's punishment from God for you smoking ciggies, okay? Last bit of Twitter slop, and then we're on to Trump. God, I love Twitter so much. I dislike everyone on Twitter, but the platform itself is so fun when like you are very selective with the dog shit on it that you engage with. Like when you make it into content, it's kind of fun. We've got Grifty from the Grift Report, who at Prime Video cast as Lara Croft, Sophie Turner, and who it should have been, Sydney Sweeney. Am I right? And you've got a side-by-side of Sophie Turner looking exactly like Lara Croft is supposed to look. And then you've got Sydney Sweeney not looking like what Lara Croft is supposed to. It's because... Do you know what this... Again, you know how I keep saying that some dudes out there deserve the male loneliness epidemic? This might be one of those as well. Because I'm going to tell you, I'm telling you, Sophie is even the right skin color. Yeah, but you and I, Oski, both know what's the problem here. It's not the fact that it has nothing to do with her skin color here specifically. It has nothing to do with the fact that she's a ginger and Lara Croft isn't. It has everything to do with the fact that her tits aren't big enough. Which is the exact same criticism that we had for that other actress who played Lara Croft in the movie that we had a couple of years back. It's the fact that her titties are too small, and that's not good enough because Lara Croft is supposed to have massive fucking milkers. And I can't help but sit here and wonder why these people exist. Not gonna lie, Sophie Turner literally looks like Lara Croft. I will say, if this is what she actually ends up looking, this is really fucking good. Like, oh no, they even got the fucking red glasses correct, bro. Like, you know what I mean? This is like when I saw Henry Cavill as Geralt for the first time, and I was just like, yeah, I am here for it. Now, Let's see how the, how the show / movie actually unfolds. But this looks pretty fucking good. That's wild. Isn't Turner stacked? I guess it depends on what you mean by stacked. Compared to, I suppose it depends on which version of Lara Croft we're comparing her to. The Lara Croft of my childhood is the one that had, her boobs weren't like even round. They were just pointy triangles. I remember playing those early Tomb Raider games, bro. The ones where she randomly ends up fighting fucking dinosaurs. To this day, I have no idea what the plotline of those games were. Genuinely no clue. I played them as a kid. I didn't speak English, didn't understand anything that's going on. My brother would help me with the gameplay whenever I would be stuck on like a bus or something. I just remember that I ran around some temple, I went deep in the temple, and then I fought a T-Rex. No fucking idea what the plotline of that was. Genuinely no clue. I still had the time of my life, man. Did you hear that for the God of War show? The actor that will play Kratos is literally a dude who plays Thor in God of War Ragnarok. I didn't know that there is a live... I didn't know that they're making God of War TV show. Why are they making a God of War TV show? That I am very hesitant to be optimistic about that. That just I would have to see some things, you know? I like Sophie Turner, but I honestly don't see Lara. To me, this looks really good. I've literally no issues with this. They're gonna fuck it up. That's my like knee-jerk reaction as well, but we shouldn't have knee-jerk reactions. Twitter men are weird. Either like mommy milkers or don't like mommy milkers. Yeah, but these people are just... I don't know. It's like... They just don't like women, is the bottom line, I think. It's the same shit every time we talk about any of this shit. Is these people just don't like women. Love Sydney Sweeney, but she doesn't feel like the right fit for the role. I don't think she'd be awful. But like this is an awful comparison, you know what I mean? Like this is just... Why? Especially, these freaks use grok for every little edit that they want. And they couldn't even be fucking bothered to give her, like, Lara Croft hairstyle. She's just in a... It's a blonde bob. Like, what... You know what I mean? Oh, God, embarrassing. All right. Trumpo. 1 hour and 36 minutes, which it isn't 1 hour and 36 minutes, because we're going to skip ahead to when he starts yapping. I hear tis not great. We're going to put it at 1.10. Also, Arknights is coming out tomorrow, chat, and I will not have a chance to properly give it a go, because I will be flying out. Isn't Sweeney the jeans one? Yes, she is. I don't know, Oski. Every time I see people talk about the gacha system, it's 84 paragraphs. I'm just going to play the game when it's out.
Well, thank you very much, Larry. It's great to be back in beautiful Davos, Switzerland, and to address so many respected business leaders, so many friends, few enemies, and all of the distinguished guests. It's a who's who, I will say that. I've come to this year's World Economic Forum with truly phenomenal news from America. Yesterday marked the 1-year anniversary of my inauguration, and today...
I heard Kanye left without talking to Trump. Bro, I think out of all of the little snippets that I've seen, my two favorite ones were... What's Italy's prime minister? What's her name? Meloni, right? She's far right, I'm pretty sure. She was kicking off at America, which was a fucking joy to see. And Macron showed up in aviator sunglasses, talking about how if America wants to pull this shit, we should do more business with China. And I was just there like, bro, let's fucking go. This is the kind of energy that I want in these dogshit fucking World Economic Forum meetings when the orange muppet is wilding out.
After 12 months back in the White House, our economy is booming, growth is exploding, productivity is surging, investment is soaring, incomes are rising, inflation has been defeated, our previously open and dangerous border is closed and virtually impenetrable, and the United States is in the midst of the fastest and most dramatic economic turnaround in our country's history. Under the Biden administration, America was plagued by the nightmare of stagflation, meaning low growth, and high inflation, a recipe for misery, failure, and decline. But now, after just 1 year of my policies, we are witnessing the exact opposite.
True.
Virtually no inflation and extraordinarily high economic growth.
1.3 million, I think. Was it 1.3 billion in total that was wiped off of the fucking American stocks following this?
Like, I believe you'll see very shortly, our country has never seen before, perhaps no country has ever seen before. Over the past 3 months, core inflation has been just 1.6%. Meanwhile, fourth quarter growth is projected to be 5.4%, far greater than anybody other than myself and a few others had predicted. Since the election, the stock market has set 52 all-time high records.
Go.
So that's in 1 year, 52 records, adding $9 trillion in value to retirement accounts, 401ks, and people's savings. People are doing very well. They're very happy with me. Since my inauguration, we've lifted more than 1.2 million people off of food stamps, and after 4 years in which Biden secured less than $1 trillion of new investment in our country. Think of that, 1 trillion, substantially less than that. In 4 years, we've secured commitments for a record-breaking $18 trillion, and we think when the final numbers come out, they'll be closer to $20 trillion of investment. That's never been done by any country at any time, not even close. Just over 1 year ago, under the radical left Democrats, we were a dead country. Now we are the hottest country anywhere in the world. In fact, the United States economy is on pace to grow at double the rate that was projected by the IMF just last April. And with my growth and tariff policies, it should be much higher. I really believe we can be much higher than that. And this is all great news, and it's great for all nations. The USA is the economic engine on the planet.
It would be. It would be. If any of it was true, it would be for great nations. It would be great for all nations, sorry. If not for the fact that you are actively giving up all the soft power that you have. And Europe is currently looking at you like not so much an enemy, but certainly not an ally anymore, which is not great, is it?
Planet. And when America booms, the entire world booms. It's been the history. When it goes bad, it goes bad. You all follow us down. And you follow us up, and we're at a point that I don't believe we've ever been. I never thought we could do it this quickly. My biggest surprise is I thought it would take more than a year, maybe like a year and 1 month. But it's happened very quickly. This afternoon, I want to discuss how we have achieved this.
But it has been a year. It's it's 21st of January 2026. It has been a year. Am I fucking crazy? I need to check reality. Yeah, it's been, bro, it's been exactly a year and 1 day.
This economic miracle, how we intend to raise living standards for our citizens to levels never seen before.
Is he saying that he expected this to be a year and a month, but he's managed to do it in a year, so we're fucking pog.
And perhaps how you too and the places where you come from can do much better by following what we're doing, because certain places in Europe are not even recognizable, frankly, anymore. They're not recognizable. And we can argue about it, but there's no argument. Friends come back from different places. I don't want to insult anybody and say I don't recognize it. And that's not in a...
I am predicting right now, or I'm having a fucking knowledge is being beamed into my head from the fucking aliens in space. He's going to talk about the windmills, isn't he? Because the last 2 times he was talking about countries being unrecognizable, he was talking about how he flew over some fucking, what was it? He was flying over France and there were windmills everywhere. And he was real fucking upset about the windmills.
Positive way. That's in a very negative way. And I love Europe and I want to see Europe go good, but it's not heading in the right direction. In recent decades, it became conventional wisdom in Washington and European capitals that the only way to grow a modern Western economy was through ever-increasing government spending, unchecked mass migration, and endless foreign imports. The consensus was that so-called dirty jobs and heavy industry should be sent elsewhere, that affordable energy should be replaced by the Green New Scam.
That is true.
And that countries could be propped up by importing new and entirely different populations from faraway lands. This was the path that sleepy Joe Biden administration and many other Western governments very foolishly followed, turning their backs on everything that makes nations rich and powerful and strong. And there's so much potential in so many nations. The result was record budget and trade deficits and a growing sovereign deficit driven by the largest wave of mass migration in human history. We've never seen anything like it. Quite frankly, many parts of our world are being destroyed before our very eyes, and the leaders don't even understand what's happening. And the ones that do understand...
No, they do understand what's happening. Welcome to late-stage capitalism. You're not going to sort any of this out. None of the leaders are going to sort any of this out. We have fewer and fewer people being born. We need more and more people for the countries to keep countrying. And those people got to come from somewhere, bro.
...understand aren't doing anything about it. Virtually all of the so-called experts predicted my plans to end this failed model would trigger a global recession and runaway inflation. But we have proven them wrong. It's actually just the opposite. In 1 year, our agenda has produced a transformation like America has not seen in over 100 years. Instead of closing down energy plants, we're opening them up. Instead of building ineffective, money-losing windmills.
Windmills, chat. He said the word. He said the word. I need like a fucking victory music or something. Hold on. He said the word windmills. I need to time this properly. Hold on, chat. Hold on. We're doing things. We're doing things here.
Taking them up instead of building ineffective, money-losing windmills.
I'm going to be playing that fucker every time he mentions windmills now.
We're taking them down and not approving any. Instead of empowering bureaucrats, we're firing them, and they're going out and getting jobs in the private sector for 2 and 3 times what they were making in government. So they started off hating me when we fired them, and now they love me. Instead of raising taxes on domestic producers, we're lowering them and raising tariffs on foreign nations to pay for the damage that they've caused. In 12 months, we have removed over 270,000...
That is a fucking lie. Everything he's saying is a fucking lie, Beans. It's like a... You usually have true to lie scales with these people. With him, you don't. It's just like an endlessly digging down scale of lies and manipulations.
Bureaucrats from the federal payroll.
Marak, I have a flight tomorrow. I can't show drunk.
Reduction in government employment since the end of World War II. Nobody thought that was coming, but we had no choice to make a country great.
Yeah, Monolith, we were talking about that the other day. The fact that Americans in the past have signed for Denmark to have the ownership of Greenland kind of doesn't matter, because they've also signed that they will defend Ukraine in an event of an invasion, and he doesn't care. He doesn't care about any of the signatures of the previous presidents, because he doesn't care about America as a symbol. He's just there to make himself richer.
You can't have all federal jobs. We've cut federal spending by $100 billion and slashed the federal budget deficit by 27% in the single year. It's going to go down quite a bit more from that, driving inflation way down from the record highs of the Biden administration. Every month, they went up and up and up. I promised to cut
when the record highs during Trump's previous term,
10 old regulations for every single new regulation. But instead, I've cut, actually, till this point, 129 regulations for every one new regulation approved. So every time they come in with a new regulation...
Let me know where you're at,
we do at least 10, but so far it's averaging out to 129, if you can believe it. In July, we passed the largest tax cuts in American history, including no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security for our great seniors. We also provided 100% expensing. That's the one they like. And bonus depreciation for all new equipment and capital investments to help companies expand and shift production to America.
Tax on tips was retarded for sure. Everything about tips is frankly retarded, bro. I'm gonna just be honest with you. The entire tipping culture needs to go and fucking die in a ditch. Shit's mental.
They are so in love with it. They build a plant, they're able to deduct it immediately, the whole thing, rather than waiting 38 to 41 years in the old days. This is a
We're going to take the dub,
miracle
Beans.
taking
We're going to
place.
take the
Nobody
dubs.
thought it would ever be done by any country, but it's done by us. It was what made my first term the most successful 4-year term that we've ever had from a financial standpoint. And now we've upped it. This is a 10-year.
The squabble began after the Ryanair RYAAY boss said on January 14th that he wouldn't install Starlink satellite Wi-Fi technology, which is made by Musk's firm SpaceX, on the airline planes due to concerns over drag and an associated increase in fuel costs. In a post on X the same day, Musk said that O'Leary was misinformed and called O'Leary an utter idiot and a retarded twat. Yeah, I'm telling you, it started exactly like I expected it to have started. Elon Musk threw a shit fit because somebody didn't like an idea of his. Yeah, like he's just, bro, I'm telling you, dude, once I've taken over Poland, right, 9 years from now, keep that shit in mind, I'm gonna invite him as like an honored guest to some kind of a fucking interview, and I'm just gonna start ripping into it. It's gonna be a trap, and I'm gonna make that dipshit cry. If he hasn't like killed himself through the ingestion of drugs by that point yet, I'm telling you, as one of my fucking bucket list goals as the Emperor of Mankind is going to be to make Elon Musk cry. God, I can't wait.
Year program, not a 1-year program, but you're allowed to deduct everything in 1 year. It used to be 38 to 41 years. With tariffs, we've radically reduced our ballooning trade deficit, which was the largest in world history. We were losing more than $1 trillion every single year, and it was just wasted. It was going.
It's not how trade deficits work, though, is it?
Going to waste. But in 1 year, I slashed our monthly trade deficit by a staggering 77%. And all of this with no inflation, something everyone said.
Yeah, you slashed it because people in America are no longer able to buy the shit from Europe that they used to be buying.
Could not be done. There were a couple of brilliant people that actually thought I was doing the right thing.
We might find out today,
now they all
Monolith.
think I'm doing the right thing because they can't believe the numbers. American exports are now up by more than $150 billion. Domestic steel production is up by 300,000 tons a month, and it's doubling over the next 4 months. It's doubling and tripling, and we have steel plants being built all over the country. Nobody thought they'd see that. Factory construction is up by 41%. And that number is really going to skyrocket right now because that's during a process that they're putting in to get their approvals, and we've given very, very quick, fast approvals. In the process, we've made historic trade deals with partners covering 40% of all U.S. trade. Some of the greatest companies and countries in the world. We have countries as our partner, too. The European nations, Japan, South Korea. They're our partners. They've gone into massive deals with us, especially on oil and gas. And these agreements raise growth and cause stock markets to boom, not only in the U.S., but...
No, Chido. It's not Ark Knights. It's one word, Ark Knights, as in Ark Knights. And then Enfield is the name of the game specifically, because Ark Knights is also a mobile game that's a tower defense. Tomorrow, we're getting a gacha RPG thing, sort of like Genshin Impact. We're not partners, bro. I don't think anyone... It's insane. I wonder... I don't think... I think he's... like, he's not lying. It's more like somebody in his immediate circle is just telling him these things, and he's just rolling on with it. You know what I mean?
Virtually every country that came to make a deal, because as you've learned,
No,
when
Chino,
the
it
United
isn't.
States goes up, you follow. It's really become a staple. In America, I've stopped the nation-wrecking energy policies that drive up prices while sending jobs and factories
Windmills.
to the world's worst
Windmills.
polluters. They are indeed polluters.
Windmills.
Under Sleepy Joe Biden.
Windmills.
New domestic oil and gas leases fell by 95%. Think of that.
Come on, you said
And
energy.
they wonder, why was
Windmills.
gasoline going up so fast? The gasoline actually topped $5 a gallon, and some places $7 a gallon, and more than 100 major power plants were violently shut down by incompetent people that had no idea what the hell they were doing. Under my leadership, U.S. natural gas production is at an all-time high by far. U.S. oil production.
People say it's literally Stephen Miller talking into Trump, especially those things about Venezuela and Greenland. Stephen Miller is definitely in there, and he's a psychotic fucking freak, but there's going to be more than just Stephen Miller.
Is up by...
I don't think he understands what he's doing to the relations with other countries. No, because I think that he genuinely, like, he's being fed these things and these statistics, and I think he genuinely thinks that these people just fucking love him. Like, I wonder if he, like, he probably thinks that covering, the way how they're covering up Epstein, for example, is working wonders, right? That's why I wonder if the fact that that fucking worker, the Ford worker, calling him a pedophile protector, shook him as much as it did, because he's like, he doesn't have any fucking contact with everyday working people, does he? Which also, as just a friendly reminder, because we are 45 minutes into this stream, every time Trump mentions anything to do with Greenland, it is, I believe, predominantly in order to put up a smokescreen, because he is the biggest protector of pedophiles that has ever existed in the history of mankind that we know of. He is literally the fucking, if you're a nonce, he's like your #1 friend. He is the dude whose taint you should tickle if you want to be able to get away with noncing left, right, and center. And he will happily let you do that, so long as there's a little bit of cachole in there for him.
730,000 barrels a day, and last week we picked up 50 million barrels from Venezuela alone. Venezuela's been an amazing place for so many years, but then they went bad with their policies. 20 years ago, it was a great country, and now it's got problems, but we're helping them. And those 50 million barrels, we're going to be splitting up with them, and they'll be making more money. They've made it along.
How very fucking generous that you'll be splitting the 50 million barrels of their oil in their barrels with them. Incredibly fucking kind. This is like when I was a kid and my mum would buy us like 1 bag of crisp per a sibling. So I would have mine, my brother would have his, and my sister would have hers. And my brother would eat his crisps and then he'd start eating mine, but he would be like, no, I'm being fair because I'm only going to eat half of yours. Like, yeah, dickhead, these are mine. Also, it was the other way around, but I want to be the hero of my stories.
Venezuela is going to do fantastically well. We appreciate all of the cooperation we've been giving. We've been giving great cooperation. Once the attack ended, and they said, let's make a deal. More people should do that. But Venezuela...
Once you've kidnapped their president, you mean, you fucking schizo.
Venezuela's going to make more money in the next 6 months than they've made in the last 20 years. Every major oil company is coming in with us. It's amazing.
Hey,
it's a beautiful thing to see. The leadership of the country has been very good. They've been very, very smart. The price of gasoline is now below $2.50 a gallon in many states, $2.30 a gallon in most states, and we'll soon be averaging less than $2 a gallon. In many places, it's already down even lower, $1.95 a gallon. Numerous states are at $1.99, numbers that nobody has heard for years. Actually, since my last administration, we got it down to around those numbers. I've signed an order directing and approval of many new nuclear reactors. We're going heavy into nuclear. I was
windmills.
Not a big fan because I didn't like the risk, the danger. But they have the progress they've made with nuclear is unbelievable, and the safety progress they've made is incredible. We're very much into the world of nuclear energy.
We should be going into nuclear, to be fair. It's insane that people are still fear-mongering that shit, bro.
And we can have it now at good prices and very, very safe. And we're leading the world in AI by a lot. We're leading China by a lot. I think President Xi respects what we've done, in part because I've allowed these big companies building these massive buildings.
Yeah, you've allowed these big companies to buy fucking RAM and SSDs that don't exist yet, to put in servers that haven't yet been constructed on land that hasn't yet been purchased, that will need to be fucking cooled down with water that we do not have. Dickhead, I can't upgrade my computer if I wanted to, because fucking Altman wants to have all the AI in the world, and Palantir is spying on my fucking breakfast. I hate these people so much. The problem isn't the meltdown or the blackouts risk, the problem is the waste. The waste is one thing, Leonard, but I would not discount the blackout risks. Because from my understanding from the videos that we've watched the other day on stream, if they get as many fucking servers going as they want, the blackouts are not going to be... the blackouts are apparently going to be real fucking bad.
To build their own electric capacity. They're building their own power plants, which when added up is more than any country anywhere in the world is doing. I read recently.
Oh, we've got a quick source from Marak in the Twitch chat with average prices. So the national average is $2.8. That's the price as of 21st of January. Where is it most expensive? Washington, $380. That is a big difference between like North Dakota and Washington. Although, to be fair, I wouldn't want to have to cross Montana to get there either. Oh, to be fair, it's quite cheap in Montana and Idaho as well. Bro, if you live right here in Washington, you can just go to Idaho to tank your car. That's big smart. Alaska's expensive. Texas $240, Oklahoma $230. But not below $2 is the bottom line, right? Nowhere is it below $2. Nowhere is it even approaching to be below $2. 2.5 seems to be the cheapest that we're looking at. California being, 4.2. Ooh, Cali, what is you doing?
An article in the Wall Street Journal that China's creating so much energy, and they are, I got to hand it to them. But we're creating as much or more, and we're letting them do that. I'm very proud of it. It was my idea. I said, you can't create this much energy. We needed more than double the energy currently in the country just to take care of the AI plants. And I said, we can't do that. We have an old grid system. And I came up with the idea, you know, you people are brilliant. You have a lot of money. Let's see what you can do. You can build your own electric generator.
I adore the phrasing of, I came up with the idea, here's money, come up with something. This is so Elon Musk coded, bro. It is there's something about rich people that I just find like I would look them all up in a zoo and I would look at them through some kind of a protected glass. And I just want to know how long it takes until they start throwing poop at each other. Because it's like they live at a level so far above that of a regular person that if you bring them down to that below of a regular person, I don't think they'd know what to do. ID on the boob? Yes, I don't know. It should move me on its own. I don't know why it doesn't. There we go. I'll fix that one day. Not today, but one day for sure. Hold on. There we go. Can I have a... There we go. You can have the, I know I'm in way of chat, but I know what you'd rather be looking at.
Generating plants, and they looked at me. They didn't believe me. All of the names that are, I think, in the room right now, if you want to know the truth, they didn't believe it. And I said, no, you can't. They came back 2 weeks, and they didn't have the plant. They said, we thought you were kidding. I said, no, not only am I not kidding, you're going to have your approvals within 2 weeks. I always say nuclear will take 3 weeks. But most aren't going that. They're going oil and gas. They're even going coal in some cases. Because of my landslide election victory, the United States avoided the catastrophic energy collapse.
Landslide. What was it? It was 51-49, or was this one? Or was this one the gigantic 52-48?
Which befell every European nation that pursued the Green New Scam, perhaps the greatest hoax in history. The Green New Scam, windmills all over the place, destroy your land, destroy your land. Every time that goes around, you lose $1,000. You're supposed to make money with energy, not lose money. Here in Europe, we've seen the fate that the radical left tried to impose on America. They tried very hard. Germany now generates 22% less.
People don't care about indigenous rights, Leonard, you know that? I actually don't think that's true, Lua. I don't think it's that they don't care. I think they want the indigenous people to suffer. There is like a whole fucking subset of these kinds of people who Like, it wouldn't be better if no babies were getting cancer. It'd be better if babies of the people they don't like would be getting cancer. And the indigenous folks, they keep bringing up about how, you know, they were fucking murdered and raped out of their land. Then maybe, you know what, maybe, I bet you that quite a few of these people are genuinely happy at the prospect of being able to do something to give these babies cancer. Like, that's the level of fucking comical evil that we're dealing with.
Electricity than it did in 2017, and it's not
Where's the music? It's playing in the background.
Chancellor's fault. He's solving the problem. He's going to do a great job. But what they did before he got there, I guess that's why he got there. And electricity prices are 64% higher. The United Kingdom produces just 1/3 of the total energy from all sources that it did in 1999. Think of that, 1/3. And they're sitting on top of the North Sea, one of the greatest reserves anywhere in the world, but they don't use it. And that's one reason why their energy has reached catastrophically low levels with equal.
Is that true? That they produce 1/3 of the energy that they did back then? Because the UK has a fucking huge energy crisis. So that's obviously, maybe I shouldn't be taking seriously anything that he says, but I'm kind of curious where the fuck he got that from. AI is telling me this is accurate based on UK government data. What the fuck is the UK doing, bro? The UK just kind of sucks. Oh no, dude, my favorite little bit of trivia about the UK, and this will forever be my favorite thing about the UK, is that they were yapping like fucking crazy about like needing to stop immigration, and that's why they need to leave the European Union. They left the European Union, and I remember how much they used to shit on Polish people as well during this whole fucking fiasco. They left the European Union, the immigration is higher than it ever has been, it just doesn't come from Europe anymore. Brilliant fucking plan, bro. Absolute masterminds. And then fucking gods themselves came down from the high heavens just to fuck over the UK more for being absolutely moronic, and they dropped COVID on all of us. It's just, I don't know what the UK is just, it's the UK, innit? It's fucking idiots, bro.
Equally high prices.
And they legit crashed their economy overnight. Yeah, they fucking morons.
High prices, very low levels. Think of that, 1/3. And you're sitting on top of the North Sea, and they like to say, well, you know, that's depleted. It's not depleted. It's got 500 years. They haven't even found the oil. The North Sea is incredible. They don't.
He sent windmills. Wait, did he? Did I miss that?
But they don't use it. See, 1999. Think of that, 1/3. And they're sitting on top of the North Sea, one of the greatest reserves anywhere in the world, but they don't use it. And that's one reason why their energy has reached catastrophically low levels with equally high prices. High prices, very low levels. Think of that, 1/3. And you're sitting on top of the North Sea, and they like to say, well, you know, that's depleted. It's not depleted. It's got 500 years. They haven't even found the oil. The North Sea is incredible. They don't let anybody drill. Environmentally, they don't let them drill. They make it impossible for the oil companies to go. They take 92% of the revenues. So the oil companies say, we can't do it. They came to see me. Is there anything you can do? I want Europe to do great. I want UK to do great. They're sitting on one of the greatest energy sources in the world, and they don't use it. In fact, their electricity prices have soared 139%. There are windmills all over Europe.
Ooh.
There are
windmills.
Windmills all over the place.
Windmills.
And they are losers. One thing I've noticed is that the more windmills a country
Windmills.
has, the more money that country loses and the worse that country is doing. China makes almost all of the windmills.
Windmills.
And yet I haven't been able to find any wind farms in China. Did you ever think
I'm losing
of that?
I'm losing my fucking mind. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's just, dude, do you know, somebody correct me on this if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure we can Google this real quick. Doesn't China have like fucking insane wind energy? Here in Europe, we get a lot of our windmills from from American companies. China has so much fucking wind energy going on for them that I'm pretty sure they have like 4 different energy companies that don't even sell outside of China, because all that they can produce, China immediately buys.
They're looking at it. They're smart. China's very smart. They make them, they sell them for a fortune.
Windmills are losers should be a meme. If somebody can clip that, I'm going to add it to the soundboard.
They sell them to the stupid people that buy them, but they don't use them themselves. They put up a couple of big wind farms, but they don't use them. They just put them up to show people what they could look like. They don't spin. They don't do anything.
What
They
is
use
he
a
on
thing called
about?
coal, mostly. But China goes with the coal. They go with oil and gas. They're starting to look at nuclear a little bit, and they're doing just fine. They make a fortune selling the windmills, though. And
Windmills!
I think really that's one that they wouldn't be surprised if it stopped. They are shocked that it continues to go. They're very friendly with me. They're shocked that people continue to buy those damn things. They killed the birds. They ruin your landscapes.
They killed the birds. Bro, I could just... Oh, you old geriatric freakazoid. They also just made a fucking water energy plant that is so fucking big it affects Earth spinning. Wait, did they really? In China? Is China fucking with the spinach of my Earth now?
Other than that, I think they're fabulous, by the way. Stupid people buy them. The consequences of such destructive policies have been stark, including lower economic growth, lower standards of living, lower birth rates, more socially disruptive migration.
Can somebody take a screenshot of the windmilge emote and put it in Discord? Because it hasn't refreshed yet for me, so I don't see it, but I'm curious what it looks like.
More vulnerability to hostile foreign adversaries and much, much smaller militaries. The United States cares greatly about the people of Europe. We really do. I mean, look, I am derived from Europe. Scotland and Germany, 100% Scotland, my mother, 100% German, my father. And we believe deeply in the bonds we share with Europe as a civilization. I want to see it do great. That's why issues like energy, trade, immigration, and economic growth must be central concerns to anyone who wants to
I like that, Beans.
see a strong and united West. Because Europe and those countries have to do their thing. They have to get out of the culture that they've created over the last 10 years. It's horrible what they're doing to themselves. They're destroying themselves. It's beautiful, beautiful places. We want strong allies, not seriously weakened ones. We want Europe to be strong. Ultimately, these are matters of national security and perhaps no current.
China's Three Gorges Dam. The world's largest has measurably slowed Earth's rotation by about 0.06 microseconds, billionths of a second per day, making days infinitesimally? I've heard that word before, but I don't know how to pronounce it. Infinitesimally longer, because its immense mass of stored water shifts Earth's movement of inertia, similar to a figure skater extending their arms. While this change is too small to notice in daily life, it demonstrates how massive human projects can leave physical marks on planet, affecting its spin and axis. You learn something new every day. They should mog Trump with that knowledge. Trump has never... Actually, maybe they shouldn't, because if they start trying to mog Trump with the knowledge that they've built a dam that slowed down how fast the Earth spins, he's going to try and outdo them, and he's going to create a massive fucking nuclear holocaust in the US.
Current issue makes the situation more clear than what's currently going on with Greenland. Would you like me to say a few words of Greenland?
Greenland?
I was going to leave it out of the speech, but I think I would have been reviewed very negatively. I have tremendous respect for both the people of Greenland and the people of Denmark. Tremendous respect.
That's a funny way of showing that one, Chief.
But every NATO ally has an obligation to be able to defend their own territory. And the fact is, no nation or group of nations is in any position to be able to secure Greenland other than the United States. We're a great power, much greater than people even understand. I think they found that out 2 weeks ago in Venezuela. We saw this in World War II. when Denmark fell to Germany after just 6 hours of fighting and was totally unable to defend either itself or Greenland. So the United States was then compelled, we did it, we felt an obligation to do it, to send our own forces to hold the Greenland territory, and hold it we did at great cost and expense. They didn't have a chance of getting on it, and they tried.
Oh, he's not just thinking about
Denmark
it, Gaster,
knows,
he's
yeah.
doing it.
We literally set up bases on Greenland for Denmark. We fought for Denmark. We weren't fighting for anyone else. We were fighting to save it for Denmark. Big, beautiful piece of ice. It's hard to call it land. It's a big piece of ice. But we saved Greenland and successfully prevented our enemies from gaining a foothold in our hemisphere. So we did it for ourselves also. And then after the war, which we won it big without us.
Not only did they Monolith only join that war after Japan bombed them, they joined that the perks for the US from essentially establishing a cultural and economic foothold over the entirety of Europe, so much so that Europe is seen as an extension of the US in the world politics, has been so incredibly fucking beneficial to the United States of America that it is literally the thing that has made them the superpower. Otherwise, you're back to, like, currently, it's what Macron said, right? Like, if you're going to start wilding, Europe's going to start making deals with China, and then you lose. Why do that?
Right now, you'd all be speaking German and a little Japanese, perhaps. After the war, we gave Greenland back to Denmark.
Gave it back, did you?
How stupid were we to do that? But we did it. But we gave it back. But how ungrateful are they now? So now our country
boasting.
and the world face
Dude,
much greater risks than it did ever before.
And also, it's incredible, isn't he? He fucking dodged the draft, didn't he? He's a draft dodger. He's not even like, we're not even talking about ungrateful. He didn't suffer for any of this. You know what I mean? He did nothing.
Because of
Commander
missiles, because of nuclear, because of
no.
weapons of warfare that I can't even talk about. 2 weeks ago, they saw weapons that nobody ever heard of. They weren't able to fire one shot at us. They said, what happened? Everything was discombobulated.
So does the EU dealing with China is like this? Well, yeah, but Engineer, nobody in the EU is disillusioned about that. That's why we're baffled at the fact that the US has given up all of their soft power. Because the simple reality is that, look, the way the world works is you've sort of got three superpowers at odds with one another. You've got America, you've got China, and you've got the USSR, I was going to say, but I'm thinking to Putin being like a fucking remnant of that shit. You've got the USA, you've got China, and you've got Russia. Now, there's a little bit more going on, right? You've got the shit happening in India, you've got all of the fucking insane shit that's happening around Israel, you've got North Korea, but we'll set all of that aside because who gives a fuck for the purpose of this conversation. Those are the three that are kind of key players here in Europe, right? If we stop being as strong of an ally with one of them, all this means is that the balance of power has to shift in somebody else's favor. It's as simple as that, because we're not going to be, there's not going to be like this great fucking resuscitation of the European power. That's not going to happen. These fucking countries here are a shit show, bro. It's not as bad as it is with the orange buffoon, but it ain't good, man. So one of the three is going to take over, right? The US is wilding. So if we're breaking apart from them, then obviously the US isn't going to be the ones to take over back whatever they've fucked up. Unless sort of maybe with the next administration. Russia is at such odds with the European Union that I think there are going to be a lot of leaders here who will literally jump into China's arms for no other reason than because China comparatively is just incredibly stable. Insane fucking lunatics. China is arsehole. The president of China is an arsehole. The whole thing is just filled with arseholes, and yet when your choice is assholes everywhere, you're gonna go with the one that's stable, aren't you? We need the poo of the CCP as our new best friend, you geriatric fuck. True, what's left of Russia. The fact that they have so many military bases around the world for what they can deploy. Yeah, also, it's just 5 times dodge. Gee, did he really dodge 5 times, Yuri? I know that he dodged. I didn't know that he dodged 5 times. I'm not a Trumper by any means. I just think this Greenland thing is so stupid. If you want bases on it, just ask, and they already do. But the tariff war started long before Trump, and people need to understand that. We stopped using basic economy a long time ago with tariffs. The tariff war, the tariffs as a concept have existed for a very long time, them being used as a club to cudgel other countries with to essentially try and force them into an external deal, only for those tariffs to then be called off, has been a very strong thing, specifically that Trump has been doing. He's not inventing means of strong-arming people, but this has absolutely been a huge thing in his repertoire of insanity. And I don't think there's ever been a president of America that has done it as badly and as much as he's doing it right now. Did anyone ask the Inuit? No, of course not, Amanax. Nobody's gonna ask the Inuit. They're happy to be under the Danish flag. They are in a cozy place of not having their fish trade monitored by the EU, but still partially on the EU because Denmark is. These people aren't gonna care about what the Inuits think. Trumpo doesn't even care about what the Europeans think. His whole game plan here is to try and bully people into submission. I wouldn't count Europe out of the running. It's not about counting them out of the running, Andreas. It's just about the pragmatic realities of external trade. We are gonna go for one of the big three. Currently, we do a lot of trade with China, but America has a very strong cultural and military foothold here in the European Union. But if America wants to give that up, I would not be surprised if a lot of people decide to jump into China's arms. They shouldn't, but that's what they will do. That's just how it works. He dodged 5 times. Remember the Phantom Menace saying that he doesn't want Russia as a neighbor as a reason he wants to take Greenland? Seems he forgets Alaska exists. I mean, he's just a fucking idiot. Do you know what the EU used to tariff the US? Yeah, engineer. We've spoken about the tariffs a decent amount actually. The bottom line isn't that there isn't a conversation to be had about tariffs, is that he is using trade deficit to work out tariffs going forward, which is fucking insane. Do you know, I will give you an example from my own personal life, which parallels using trade deficit to establish tariffs. When I was a kid, my mum would seasonally go to Germany to work there to get more money for us at home, right? Especially around seasons when a lot of fruits were growing and they needed people to pick that fruit. And a lot of Polish people were doing it because it was, for them, it was very cheap labor. For us, it was still way more than you'd be paid in country for anything. So my mum would go for like a period of time. Sometimes it was like a month, sometimes it was less than that. And then she'd come back with some extra money, right? For us to be able to have things essentially. And mum would always leave us a little bit of a budget, right? She'd leave us some money, and then my grandma used to take care of us. And I've got 2 older siblings, so them and my grandma used to be like they used to take care of of just making sure that I don't starve essentially. And I remember one time when my mum was going, I asked how much money my mum's leaving, and when my mum told me, I went to my room, I whipped out my notebook, I counted how many different chocolate bars and crisps and these discount Coca-Colas that we used to drink I could buy because we wouldn't want to spend on proper Coca-Cola, for how many days she's going to be gone. And I was just like, why is my grandma and why are my siblings bothering with proper food if we can just eat crisps for the entire time that she's gone? That's the level of economic analysis that Trump has done in order to use fucking trade deficit to work out tariffs. Like, he's insane. He's just insane. We sharing family stories right now? Well, you know how it is, Ritesh. It's just what we do in the streamer world. Okay, you know what, Fair? I'm being mad right now. It's not just so Canada can compete, it's so they don't get fucked by America's massive dairy industry, which guess what? We fucked them anyway. And they didn't even hit those numbers, so the tariffs would apply. Well, yeah, but that's the thing. It's this happened several times. He just does this shit with tariffs. Somebody's telling him what to do and he just does it. Because he doesn't know, does he?
He said, we've got him in our sights. Press the trigger, and nothing happened. No anti-aircraft missiles went up. There was one that went up about...
Wait, what was it saying?
And the world face much greater risks than it did ever before because of missiles, because of nuclear, because of weapons of warfare that I can't even talk about. 2 weeks ago, they saw weapons that nobody ever heard of. They weren't able to fire one shot at us. They said, what happened? Everything was discombobulated. They said, we got them in
discombobulators.
our sights, press the trigger, and nothing happened. No anti-aircraft missiles went up. There was one that went up about 30 feet and crashed down right next to the people that sent it. They said, what the hell is going on? Those defensive systems were made by Russia and by China. So they're going to go back to the drawing boards, I guess. Greenland is a vast...
I don't think I would want that, engineer, because there's a reason why tariffs exist. The thing is though, and this is why, and this is again, it boils down to the capitalism and communism shit. Do you know why we trade so much shit currently with China and we don't with America? Like China with the fucking AliExpress and the fucking Temu and every other of these like Chinese websites that we use for buying shit. It's because the Chinese government is paying these companies a shitloads of fucking money and covering the tariffs so that they can get a more of an economic foothold here in the European Union, because that's how good the European Union is for trade, and they recognize this, right? Like, why wouldn't you? It's soft power essentially at the end of the day. And Trump, in his fucking insanity, would rather increase the tariffs and not do anything to allow people to do this. I don't, bro, it's not even like capitalism, it's just retardation, innit? Yes, they have been doing that for years. Yeah, but it's a good... They're smart. They're smart. That's what you're supposed to do if you're trying to get soft power here. And he's doing the opposite. But tariffs need to exist because we need to have trade within the European Union without constantly outsourcing everything outside so that people in the European Union don't suffer. Right? So that people in here can have industry, so that you can create companies, so that you can create goods that you can then export to other places. It's not an ideal system. Once I'm the God King, I'm going to sort it out. But in the meantime, I'm just saying the orange fucking cretin is a dipshit. Take care, Husser. I'll talk to you soon, buddy.
Almost entirely uninhabited and undeveloped territory. It's sitting undefended in a key strategic location between the United States, Russia, and China. That's exactly where it is, right smack in the middle. Wasn't important nearly when we gave it back. You know, when we gave it back, it wasn't the same as it is now. It's not important for any other reason, you know, everyone talks about the minerals. There's so many places. There's no rare earth, no such thing as rare earth. There's rare processing, but there's so much rare earth. And this, to get to this rare earth, you got to go through hundreds of feet of ice.
If he says rare earth one more time, I'm going to get a fucking aneurysm.
That's not the reason we need it. We need it for strategic national security and international security. This enormous unsecured island is actually part of North America, on the northern frontier of the Western Hemisphere. That's our territory. It is therefore a core national security interest of the United States of America. And in fact, it's been our policy for hundreds of years.
That's the thing, though. If you want Greenland, there are like 74 different ways that you could have done about this that would be somewhat more respected on the world stage than whatever the fuck this shit is.
To prevent outside threats from entering our hemisphere, and we've done it very successfully. We've never been stronger than we are now. That's why American presidents have sought to purchase Greenland for nearly 2 centuries. You know, for 2 centuries they've been trying to do it. They should have kept it after World War II, but they had a different president. That's
it wasn't yours. What do you mean?
Much more necessary now.
What do you mean you should have kept it? It never belonged to you, bro. This would be the equivalent of somebody breaking into Mar-a-Lago, so I fucking punch the bandit out, and then I'm taking over the fucking mansion. Like, what are you on about?
Than it was at that time, however. In 2019, Denmark said that they would spend over $200 million to strengthen Greenland's defenses.
No.
But as you know, they spent less than 1% of that amount. 1%, there's no sign of Denmark there. And I say that with great respect for Denmark, whose people I love, whose leaders are very good. It's the United States alone that can protect this giant mass of land, this giant piece of ice, develop it and improve it and make it so that it's good for Europe and safe for Europe and good for us. And that's the reason I'm seeking immediate negotiations to once again discuss the acquisition of Greenland by the United States, just as we have acquired many other territories.
I want to say it's not going to happen, but there is so much fucking weakness in Europe that I genuinely feel like he might be able to pull this off. Because the strength here is so sparse that I can... there's quite a few countries that would genuinely go against Denmark here, despite Denmark being our neighbor, in favor of Trump, just because they're too afraid of what might happen otherwise. You don't care about Europe, or you deal with Russia and Ukraine? Yeah, of course he doesn't. He doesn't give a fuck.
Throughout our history, as many of the European nations have, they've acquired, there's nothing wrong with it. Many of them, some went in reverse, actually, if you look. Some had great vast wealth, great vast lands all over the world. They went in reverse. They're stuck back where they started. That happens too. But some grow.
Jesus, Oski.
But this would not be a threat to NATO. This would greatly enhance the security.
Yeah, but Chris, counterpoint, can't the weakness stop now? No, Diz, it can't. Because I will give you an example from here in Poland. Here in Poland, the number of actually strong politicians with a spine that genuinely want what's the best for the population, you can count on one fucking hand. The rest, it's just like an endless fucking set of people who are just waiting for their turn at the trough. Like they want to, it's like fucking piggies, just in a circle waiting for when it's going to be their turn to, they want the oats, and they will not listen to brother. They will have the oats, and nothing's going to stop them from having the oats. Poland is pretty bottom of the barrel for the EU, to be fair. In many ways, true. But I don't think this is just Poland, right? We've got a lot of this going around. It's sad, is what it is.
The entire alliance.
Polish, Lithuanian, Commonwealth mentioned. America first, Poland first. True. That will be our motto, man.
NATO alliance. The United States is treated very unfairly by NATO. I want to tell you that. And when you think about it, nobody can dispute it. We give so much and we get so little in return. And I've been a critic of NATO for many years. And yet I've done more to help NATO than any other president by far, than any other person.
Bro.
You wouldn't have NATO if I didn't.
Suck a fat dick, you retard. You're literally the reason why NATO's falling apart currently. Go and fuck yourself. I've done more for NATO than any other president. Fucking die. What an actual piece of shit.
Get involved in my first term. The war with Ukraine is an example. We are thousands of miles away, separated by a giant ocean. It's a war that should have never started, and it wouldn't have started if the 2020 U.S. presidential election weren't rigged. It was a rigged election. Everybody now knows Jesus. That. They found out.
No, they didn't.
People will soon be prosecuted for what they did.
No, they won't.
It's probably breaking news, but it should be. It was a rigged election.
No, it isn't.
You can't have rigged elections.
No, it wasn't.
You need strong borders, strong elections, and ideally a good press. I always say it. Strong borders.
His own investigations into the election have not found any fraud.
Strong elections, free, fair elections, and a fair media. The media is terrible. It's very crooked. It's very biased, terrible. But someday it'll straighten out because it's losing all credibility. Think of it. When I went in a landslide, a giant landslide, won all 7 swing states, won the popular vote, won everything, and they only get negative press. That means that it has no credibility. And if they're going to get credibility, they're going to have to be fair. So you need a fair press. But you also need those other elements. And I inherited a terrible, terrible situation. If you look, the border was open. The inflation was raging. Everything was bad with the United States when I came into office. But I also inherited a mess with Ukraine and Russia, something that would have never happened. And I know Putin very well. He and I would discuss Ukraine. It was the apple of his eye, but he wasn't going to do anything. I said, Vladimir, you're not doing it. He would never have done it. It was terrible what happened. I could see it happening, too. After I left, I could see it happening.
True, and he has done it now, and you're doing jack shit about it.
$350 billion, a staggering sum, $350 billion. I came in, and just like the southern border,
I feel you, Marak.
Just like inflation, just like our economy, I said, wow, this place is in trouble, meaning our country. All of these things were out of control. But the border was out of control. We fixed it with the strongest border anywhere in the world. And I've now been working on this war for 1 year, during which time I settled 8 other wars. India, Pakistan. I settled other wars that were...
Curious how he's just not able to settle this one, though, isn't it? Remarkable. What was the current best solution that he proposed for Ukraine? Would have effectively seen half of Ukraine be given to Russia, right? I've got that correct.
Vladimir Putin called me Armenian. Azerbaijan. He said, I can't believe you settled that one. They were going on for 35 years. I said, Vladimir Putin called me, Armenian, Azerbaijan. He said, I can't.
Azerbaijan? I'm sorry, is there a fucking new country in the Middle East that I'm not aware of? The fuck is Azerbaijan, bro?
Can't believe you settled Armenian, Azerbaijan. He said, I can't believe you settled that one. They were going on for
That's an audible B, right? There's this fucking Azerbaijan's fucking cousin down south. The fuck is an Azerbaijan? It is by Turkey. I think you will find that Azerbaijan isn't by Turkey. I think you will find Azerbaijan doesn't exist anywhere. Fucking Azerbaijan. What is it? Is it next to Burki? Right above Iban. Next to Ibak. Fucking Bolzga. Bolzga Gurum.
5 years. I settled it in one day.
President
Putin called me. He said, you know, I can't believe I worked on that war for 10 years trying to settle it. I couldn't do it. I said, do me a favor, focus on settling your war. Don't worry about that one. What does the United States get out of all of this work, all of this money, other than death, destruction, and massive amounts of cash going to people who don't appreciate what we do? They don't appreciate what we do.
Oh, it's not that he's getting rid of soft power. He just doesn't know what it is.
About NATO, I'm talking about Europe. They have to work on Ukraine. We don't. The United States is very far away. We have a big, beautiful ocean separating us. We have nothing to do with it.
Except the agreements that the United States have signed, I mean.
Until I came along, NATO was only supposed to pay 2% of GDP, but they weren't paying. Most of the countries weren't paying anything. The United States.
Look, I wouldn't say anything, but there are quite a few countries that aren't meeting the obligation, which is bullshit. The increase to 5% is reasonable. The expectation that they're going to be able to commit that much is also reasonable. Bro, the European Union needs to sort its shit out, man.
Was paying for virtually 100% of NATO. And I got that stopped. I said, that's not fair.
Poland's doing good, though.
But then more importantly, I got NATO to pay 5%, and now they were paying, and now they are paying. So something nobody said was possible. They said, we will never go up higher than 2%.
Nobody said that.
But they went to 5%, and now they're paying the 5. They didn't pay the 2, and now they're paying the 5. And they're stronger for it, and they have an excellent, by the way, Secretary General, who's possibly in the room. Mark, are you here? Yes, he's here. Hello, Mark. We never asked for anything, and we never got anything. We probably won't get...
When was the last time NATO did anything? The... Afghanistan, right? Oh, hi, Mark. Oh, no. I'm going to be thinking of that movie now. Neon. Oh, Neon and Ritter, both of you. See? Great minds think alike. I think the last time NATO did anything, they were responding to Article 5 when the US called for support in Afghanistan, right?
Anything unless I decide to use excessive strength and force where we would be, frankly, unstoppable. But I won't do that. Okay? Now everyone's saying, oh, good. That's probably the biggest statement I made, because people thought I would use force. I don't have to use force. I don't want to use force. I won't use force. All the United States is asking for is a place called Greenland, where we already had it, as a trustee, but respectfully returned it back to Denmark not long ago after we defeated the Germans, the Japanese, the Italians, and others in World War II. We gave it back to them. We were a powerful force then, but we are a much more powerful force now. After I rebuilt the military in my first term and continue to do so today, we have a budget of $1.5 trillion. We're bringing back battleships.
When he does the spray tan, he 100% puts on the funny little goggles, right? That's why his skin is so light there. I will be honest with you. I think he's got like he's got something like a fucking latex bodysuit that he puts on, and only specific areas are uncovered. Because the way how it's applied is very, very peculiar. Is that a threat? Everything he's saying here is a threat, Beans.
The Germans, the Japanese, the Italians, and others in World War II. We gave it back to them. We were a powerful force then, but we are a much more powerful force now. after I rebuilt the military in my first term and continue to do so today. We have a budget of $1.5 trillion. We're bringing back battleships. The battleship is 100 times more powerful than the great battleships you saw in World War II, those great, big, gorgeous ships, the Missouri, the Iowa, the Alabama.
He genuinely has the same approach to strategy that I sometimes have in Total War, where, like, that unit isn't the best or the most strategic, but it looks cool as fuck. So I'm gonna cop one of those, add it to my army, and I will deal with the upkeep on it. And it's not the best idea, but bro, does it look incredible. I can't stop thinking about Polska Burom. Yes. There's a whole thing with, in Polish, there's a whole thing with changing words like that. It's like Polska as well, with a G instead of a K. So it would be Polska Górom, which the whole thing is from Polska Górom, and even this is spelled incorrectly because Górom is riddled with spelling mistakes. Like, that's not how you spell that word at all, but it became into the whole meme. So Polska Górom is, that's just where we're at, okay? That's just Poland. Polska. Polska dla Polaków, Anglia dla Anglików I Polaków.
Alabama, because I thought maybe we could take them out of mothballs. They said, no, sir, these ships are 100, think of that, 100 times
That seems reasonable, Angyyyy.
more powerful than those big, magnificent pieces of art that you saw so many times ago, that you still see on television. You say, wow, what a force. 100 times, each ship 100 times more powerful than the big battleships of the past.
100 times,
So that was
chat.
the end of the mothball story. So what we have gotten out of NATO is nothing except to protect Europe from the Soviet Union and now Russia. I mean, we've helped them for so many years. We've never gotten
And now Russia. I'm sorry, where is that protection, Chief?
anything.
And also, I absolutely... Dude, this is so disrespectful as well. When he says we got nothing, I feel nothing, because all of this is fundamentally, like, before my times. But imagine being, like, a fucking Swedish soldier or a German soldier who was there in Afghanistan when America called for it. When America called for our troops to go there and fucking die, not for some grand fucking purpose, but for oil, only to now this dipshit be telling that they never got anything in return. When there are trade deals that are making sense, there is a huge fucking cultural foothold of America here, soldiers were sent to fight for America. He's invited Putin to his board of peace. Is it true that he was asking for $1 billion to join the board of peace? Because I saw articles memeing about the fact that we don't have that much money in Poland. Like, we cannot be the board of peace. We do not have, as a country, $1 billion US. Like, it's just, that's not a reasonable ask, bro.
Except we pay for NATO. And we paid for many years until I came along. We paid for, in my opinion, 100% of NATO because they weren't paying their bills. And all we're asking for is to get Greenland, including right title and ownership, because you need the ownership to defend it.
Okay, what does Poland get? Because we've been paying our percentages in. What can I cop? Can I take Lithuania back? Because I will take that deal. I will agree with America copping Greenland if I can get Lithuania. Or I'll do you one better. I'll do better. And I have no idea what happened to my accent there with that one. Nearly spat on myself as well. Fucking classic. I will do you one better, okay? I don't need to absorb Lithuania, because I eventually will anyway. I don't need Trump's help with that one. But there is that little bit of Russia that's right above us, right? With Russia's access to the sea. I will take that just so that Putin throws a shit fit and he loses more when in the end he's pushed entirely out of Ukraine too. And then I will take over Lithuania anyway. And assuming that Sweden doesn't again stab Poland in the back and fucking attack us when we're in our golden age of expansion, I'm going to be doing some mad shit here, bro.
Can't defend it on a lease. Number one, legally it's not defensible that way.
Don't worry, Yuri, I will.
Totally. And number two, psychologically, who the hell wants to defend?
This is what Orwell was warning about faking history and shit. Yeah, this whole fucking, this presidency is, I think, the closest to that book than we've ever been.
A license agreement, or a lease, which is a large piece of ice in the middle of the ocean where if there is a war, much of the action will take place on that piece of ice. Think of it. Those missiles would be flying right over the center of that piece of ice. All we want from Denmark for national and international security and to keep our very energy.
It looks from that list, engineer, like every country responded. Not every country sent a lot, but every country sent their personnel in. I'm not seeing any member of NATO that just told the US to fuck off. And again, that wasn't a... The baseline principle of NATO is that when one of us gets attacked, we all get attacked. That shit with Afghanistan was... I don't know, you could make an argument that wasn't really a defensive war, was it? 75 troops is not a lot. Are you looking at one specific country and then saying 75? Because France alone sent over, what, 4,000, if I remember correctly? Germany sent 2,500. Where does the 75 troops come from?
And dangerous potential enemies at bay is this land on which we're going to build the greatest golden dome ever built. We're building a golden dome that's going to, just by its very nature, going to be defending Canada. Canada gets a lot of freebies from us, by the way. They should be grateful also, but they're not. I watched your prime minister yesterday. He wasn't so grateful. But they should be grateful to us. Canada lives because of the United States. Remember that. Mark,
there were a lot of countries that sent less. To invade Afghanistan, yeah, I imagine there were quite a few countries that sent less. It doesn't change the fact that everyone sent their troops. And I'm not seeing anyone who sent 75. Fucking Lithuania sent 40, and Lithuania has like 50 people in the country, bro. That's 80% of the Lithuanian population that went to Afghanistan for you.
Next time you make your statements. What we did for Israel was amazing, but that's nothing compared to what we have planned for the United States, Canada, and the rest of the world. We are going to build a dome like no other. We did it for Israel. And by the way, I told Bibi, stop taking credit for the dome. That's our technology. That's our stuff. They had a lot of courage, and they were good fighters, and they did a good job, and we wiped out the Iran nuclear threat like nobody can believe. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. That, Venezuela.
Nobody's ever seen anything like it. Never.
Soleimani, wiping out al-Baghdadi when he tried to reinstitute ISIS. We did a lot. I did a lot of big things. All perfectly executed. Everyone was perfectly executed. Somebody told me that, a military expert told me, sir, everything you've done has been perfectly executed. I said, I know. So other presidents have spent, whether foolishly or not, trillions and trillions of dollars on NATO and gotten absolutely nothing in return. We've never asked for anything. It's always a one-way street. Now they want us to help them with Ukraine. And we say, we're going to. I'm really helping, not even them. I want to see, last week, if you saw, it was 10,000 soldiers, but last month it was 31,000 soldiers died.
Not comparing World War II, but the UK sent almost 6 million and they sent 7,500. Do you mean the US sent 6 million and they sent 7,500? Or are you comparing it to World War II? Because it wasn't World War II.
31,000, that's this room times, the number of people in this room times 30. Think of it. 30,000 soldiers died in 1 month. The month before it was 27,000. The month before that it was 28,000. The month before that it was 25,000. It's a bloodbath over there. And that's what I want to stop. It doesn't help the United States, but these are souls. These are young.
If it wouldn't help the United States, he wouldn't be doing it.
Look like you, look like some of you right in the front row. They go to war. Their parents are so proud. Oh, there he goes, comes back. 2 weeks later, they get...
It was not enough, and we're pretty much gone, and it is now the same hellhole that it was before, and all those people died for nothing. Those people did die for nothing, yeah, and it remains the only time that that NATO article was brought into use. It was brought into use by America, and the Allies have responded. It was brought... The US asked for the Allies to assist. The Allies sent their troops over, when Russian drones flew into Polish airspace and crashed into a fucking farm, the first thing that we were told from the United States of America is that nothing big happened and there's not going to be any support sent.
Nicole, your son's head's been blown off. I want to stop it. It's a horrible war. It's the worst since World War II. They keep going, they'll exceed World War II. The numbers are staggering, how many people they've lost. They don't want to talk about it. Ukraine and Russia lost just tremendous amounts. And I'm dealing with President Putin, and he wants to make a deal, I believe. I'm dealing with Ukraine and Russia lost just tremendous amounts. And I'm dealing with President Putin, and he wants to make a deal, I believe. I'm dealing.
What?
And I'm dealing with President.
I'm dealing with President Putin, okay.
President Putin, and he wants to make a deal, I believe. I'm dealing with
yeah,
President
he wants to make a deal
he wants to
take over half of Ukraine.
He might be in the audience right now. But they got to get that war stopped because too many people are dying, needlessly dying.
I have no idea, Globalized. I don't think so,
being
though.
Lost. It's the only reason I'm interested in doing it. But in doing it, I'm helping Europe, I'm helping NATO, and I've until the last few days when I told them about Iceland, they loved me. They called me daddy, right, last time?
Pardon? Do you wanna hit me with that one again, Chief? Because my gasps have just been flabbered. I want to make sure I beg your pardon, good sir.
They loved me. They called me daddy, right, last time? A very smart man said, he's our daddy. He's running it. I was like running it. I went from running it to being a terrible human being. But now what I'm asking for...
What the fuck? How the fuck did that make it into the script? What just happened? Iceland kinky as fuck. But look, nobody's calling the fucking diaper wearer a daddy, okay? What's the
Very smart man. They called me daddy, right, last time?
This is another good soundbite.
Very smart man said, he's our daddy. He's running it. I was like running it. I went from running it to being a terrible human being. But now what I'm asking for is a piece of ice, cold and poorly located.
That sounds good, Globalized.
That can play a vital role in world peace and world protection. It's a very small ask compared to what we have given them for many, many decades. But the problem with NATO is that
a piece of ice,
be there for them 100%.
That's what he appears to believe Greenland is, just a poorly located piece of ice. That's why he wants it, because it's poorly located.
But I'm not sure that they'd be there for us if we get...
Dude, this is how I used to try and fucking trade hotels with my mum when we were playing Monopoly. I would be just like, no, mum, this is a horrible location, horrible hotel. The fucking decor is awful. Nobody's going to drive through there. It's going to generate no traffic, no profits. Sell it to me. Okay? It's very bad. Trust me. He thinks it's like the North Pole. I don't know if he thinks.
Gave them the call. Gentlemen, we are being attacked. We're under attack by such and such a nation. I know them all very well. I'm not sure that they'd be there. I know we'd be there for them. I don't know that they'd be there for us. So with all of the money we expend, with all of the blood, sweat, and tears, I don't know that they'd be there for us. They're not there for us on Iceland, that I can tell you.
I don't know if they'd be there for us. The one time that we were called upon, it was by America, and people have responded.
Our stock market took the first dip yesterday because of Iceland.
Absolute fucking
So Iceland's
ghoul.
already cost us a lot of money. But that dip is peanuts compared to what it's gone up. And we have an unbelievable future in that stock. That stock market is going to be doubled. We're going to hit 50,000, and that stock market's going to double in a relatively short period of time because of everything that's happening. But this is a good example. After giving NATO and European nations trillions and trillions of dollars in defense, they buy our weapons. We make the greatest weapons in the world, but now we're going to make them faster, much faster. You saw that. I put a cap on the salaries. Then I put no buybacks, no stock buybacks, no various other things that they were doing.
A faster
They
gun.
were making $50 million, but it would take them 3 years to give you a Patriot missile. I said, that's not good. My chauffeur can do a better job than that, and he makes slightly less than 50. They make big salaries. If they're going to make those big salaries, they're going to have to produce a lot.
It's worse than him mixing up the two countries. He doesn't know Iceland is an actual place. He's given the Greenland a nickname. The country. Is that, do you know, you might be onto something though. I was going to say no shot, but actually, with his age...
Faster. The good news is we have the greatest equipment in the world. Now we're going to start making it a lot faster. They're going to build additional plants. And all of the money that goes into
plants, windmills,
stock buybacks is going to go into building plants. We're not allowing stock buybacks by defense companies any longer. They're going to build new plants to make
windmills,
Tomahawks, Patriots. We have the best equipment. F-35s, F-47, the new one just coming out. They say it's the most devastating plane, fighter jet ever. Who knows? They called it 47. If I don't like it, I'm going to take the 47 off it. I wonder why they called it 47. We'll have to think about that. But if I don't like it, I'm going to take that 47 off. But it's supposed to be the stage 6. It's supposed to be the first stage 6 plane, undetectable, like our B-2 bombers were undetectable. They flew right over Iran. They were undetectable. And they did their job, and they got the hell out of there. So we want a piece of ice for world protection, and they won't give it. We've never asked for anything else, and we could have kept that piece of land, and we didn't. So they have a choice. You can say yes, and we will be very appreciative, or you can say no, and we will remember. A strong and secure America means a strong NATO, and that's one reason why I'm working every day to ensure our military is very...
Couldn't be written better in a movie if they tried. That's the thing, though, as well, is the fact that he is a toddler in power that makes this so much more infinitely complicated. Because the problem with dipshits like this is that if he gets Greenland, he will want something else next. It's not ending there. It's the same shit that we have to deal with when it comes to Putin, except the motivation's different, but it's that same level of megalomaniac that you're dealing with. He will never stop, right? If you give him things, he will want more and more and more because he's a fucking ghoul.
Very powerful. Our borders are very strong. And above all, our economy is strong because national security requires economic security and economic prosperity. And we have the greatest that we've ever had. Biden and his allies destroyed our economy and gave us perhaps...
Dude, I saw the newspaper saying that his plane that was heading to the fucking World Economic Forum had to turn around because of like some emergency. And I was just thinking, bro, this might be it. This could have been the heart attack. This could have been the moment. But no, it was just some fucking technical issue with the plane.
It's the worst inflation in American history. They say 48 years. I say forever, but I think 48 years is the equivalent to forever.
Does he think he will live forever? No, Kathy. I think part of the reason why he's so fucking insane is because he doesn't want his legacy to be that of a fucking pedophile protector. So he wants to be remembered as the man who, like, enlarged the United States of America by obtaining Greenland.
Whether it's 48 years or ever, it's terrible. Costing the typical family $33,000. What they did to this country should never, ever be forgotten. It's early, but he has to be rated as the worst president we've ever had by far. The auto pen did much of the damage. The auto pen, he was the auto pen president.
You're voting to leave what, engineer? For Canada to separate into like the... And then what, become a US state? How is that going to work out for you logistically? Not to mention that, dude, the last time people were voting to leave, it was the EU. It was England voting to leave the EU, and that was a fucking shit show.
Because I don't believe a sane president would have ever signed the kind of things that he signed.
Wild, though, that you'd prefer to be ruled by this dipshit, though, not gonna lie.
But now grocery prices, energy prices, airfares, mortgage rates, rent, and car payments are all coming down, and they're coming down fast. We inherited a mess, but we've done a hell of a job in 12 months. Under my most favored nation policy for drug prices, the cost of prescription drugs is coming down by up to 90%, depending on the way you calculate. You could also say 5, 6, 7, 800%. There are two ways of figuring that. But we have a favored nations policy that every president wanted, no president was able to get. I got it, and other nations
you reckon so,
and I had to use tariffs in order to get it because they said no way. In other words, a pill that costs 10% in London costs $130. Think it costs $10 in London, costs $130 in New York or in Los Angeles. And I'd say, boy, that's bad. Friends of mine would say,
That's because of you. That's because of capitalism. That's you doing the thing, bro. That's what... Fuck me. I love capitalism so much. These people don't deserve it. I need to take over. I need to take over.
you know, we go to London, you can buy the stuff for nothing. We go all over the world, we can buy it for nothing. Because basically America was subsidizing every nation in the world because presidents allowed them to get away with it. It became very tough. So when I called up Emmanuel Macron, I watched him yesterday with those beautiful sunglasses. What the hell happened?
He did. He was aura farming like crazy. Did you guys see Macron with his fucking aviators? I'm not going to pull up the whole speech, but I need you to see. Hold on. Bro was like fucking, the aura farming was insane. I don't know why he was doing it, but I appreciate I appreciate it. Dude, look at him.
Sectors. Export control has become more dangerous new tools, destabilizing global trade and the international system. And the answer...
He's just rolled in with aviators. This is indoors, by the way. There is no natural fucking skylight or anything as such. He's just there rocking the aviators.
In order to fix this issue is more cooperation. And building new approaches. And it's clearly building more...
He wore them during the speech. Bro, he never took them off. He wore them walking in. He wore them during the speech. He wore them walking out. Fucking Frenchness was oozing off of every single word that he was saying. And you have to understand, Macron has been doing this shit for a fucking while. He does, like... I'm not saying he's putting the accent on. I'm just saying he knows what he's doing, okay? The fucking aviators are insane, bro. It's just an absolute aura farm. It's incredible. Just truly, genuinely incredible.
Be tough. But he was at $10 for a pill. And I said, Emmanuel, and I have the...
This is much uglier. I mean, Angyyyy, we're talking about Greenland because that's what he's wilding out about, right? The idea isn't that that is worse than whatever is happening in Canada or whatever the fuck. Part of the frustration is that this distracts from what's happening in the Ukraine. Dude, people in Ukraine don't have access to electricity because Russia's purposefully fucking bombing power plants so that civilians have to evacuate or die, which is the preferred version for Russians, fucking die so that they have an easier time taking over. They tell you, hey, this bridge over here, this is the bridge that you can use to get the civilians out of here, and then they bombard the bridge.
The big pharmaceutical companies are in total agreement. It wasn't easy, by the way. They're tough, smart. They've been getting away with the scam for a long time. But they gave it up. But they said, you'll never get the countries to approve it. I said, why is that? Because they won't. They always said, we're not paying any more. Get the rest for the United States.
He looks
over the
good,
years,
though,
they
doesn't
stayed
he,
the same.
Ritesh?
We just went up, up, up. And I mean, we would pay 13, 14, 15 times more than some certain countries would. So I said, no, they'll approve it 100%. Sir, you'll never get them to approve it. I said, I guarantee you. But I actually sided with Emmanuel, who probably is in the room too. And I like him. I actually like him. Hard to believe, isn't it? And I said, Emmanuel, you're going to have to lift the price of that pill to $20, maybe $30. Think of that. That means it's a doubling of prescription drugs. Might be a tripling, might be a quadrupling. It's not easy. No, 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 Donald, I will not do that. I said, yes, you will, 100%. He said, no, no, no. You're asking me to double. I said, Emmanuel, you've been taking advantage of the United States for 30 years with prescription drugs.
I bet you this conversation never fucking happened.
You really should do it, and you will do it. I have no doubt. In fact, I am 100% sure you're going to. No, 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 I will not do it. Because, yes, in all fairness.
Yeah, Emmanuel, you'll need to take over this company and raise the pill price. True. That is fucking insane.
He has to double or triple. Because the world being a bigger place than the United States, it's not that you meet in the middle. You just have to go up some, and we come down a lot. They go up a little, we come down a lot. So we're at $130, they're at 10. So they may have to go to 20 or 30. No more than that. I said, Emmanuel, you're going to be doubling or tripling? No, no, no. I said, here's the story, Emmanuel. The answer is you're going to do it. You're going to do it fast. And if you don't, I'm putting a 25% tariff on everything that you sell into the United States and a 100% tariff on your wines and champagnes. And that's about 10 times more than what I'm requesting. And you're going to do it. I don't want to go public with it, but you may make me do that. No, no, Donald, I will do it. I will do it.
So he did go public with it. I sometimes wonder, because he has to be the hero of his own stories, because he's a senile fucking imbecile. But does the inbred fucking cattle that is currently fucking running around in his brain with desperation trying to fucking hit all the right pedals to make him sound like he's making the least amount of sense, understand that no, who the fuck is going to want to talk to you privately if after they comply, which... Keep in mind, the central point of his story is that Emmanuel Macron complied, then he's still gonna out how that conversation went. My new headcanon is he talked to Miller dressed in a wig. Bro. Do you think... Dude, I've had a fucking grim thought in my head. Have you seen those videos online of like a dude who is using AI technology to basically like transpose his face with some other face? So it's the dude basically like looks like some I don't know, like Asian chick, for example, and it's an Indian dude out of Bangladesh or whatever the fuck. I wonder if that's actually like they're telling Donny that they've got him in a video call with Emmanuel Macron, and it unironically is Stephen Miller just like piloting the AI fucking face, telling him what he wants to hear. That would be grim. I much prefer the version of Miller dressed in a wig.
It took me, on average, 3 minutes a country, saying the same thing. You will do it. They all said, no, 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 I will not do it. You're asking me to double the cost of prescription. I said, that's right, because you've been screwing us.
Also, chat, if I could direct your attention over to the YouTube live stream to hit that like button, I would appreciate that greatly. If we can see that likes counter go up just a little bit, I would be eternally grateful.
In the last quarter century, a sitting president of the United States has come to Davos only twice.
I'm sorry, what did just happen? Did I... Oh, there we go.
For 30 years. And they said, we will not do it. I said, that's all right. On Monday morning, we're putting a 25, 30, 50, I gave different numbers for different countries. This is also national security we're talking about. Not fair. We're not going to subsidize the whole world. And every one of those countries have agreed to do it. So one of the biggest things that I've done is the fact that we have now most favored nation. We will pay whatever the lowest price is in the entire world. So our drug prices are going to be coming down by staggering 90%. Again, you could say 1,000%, 2,000%, depends on the way you want to figure it, but we'll go with the way the fake news likes it better, because it sounds, can you imagine a 90% reduction sounds much worse.
It's fucking insane.
But drug prices are going to be coming down tremendously in all the nations, and I appreciate them doing it, but they did it. In all fairness, without tariffs, I wouldn't have been able to get it done. After declining $3,000 under Biden, real incomes are up in the United States by $2,000, $3,000, and even $5,000 and more. Home ownership.
I'm sorry, which real incomes, bro? Who are we talking about here now? They've done this thing where rich people have gotten massive fucking tax cuts, and the average has gone up as a result of that, and he thinks that the working class is now making $2,000 more a month. Do you guys remember how quickly he spun around on the promise that everyone's going to get $2,000? Because that was a thing. He was saying that everyone's going to get $2,000, like a stimulus check. And then asked about it again, he was just like, no, I've never said that. That literally never happened. You are making things up. Nope. It's just pathetic.
Has always been a symbol of health and vigor of American society, but that goal fell out of reach for millions and millions of people in the Biden era because interest rates went up so high. Today, I'm taking action to bring back this bedrock of the American dream. In recent years, Wall Street giants and institutions...
Yuri's saying I won't own a home until I'm in my 40s. Bro, if Russia manages to do as Russia's planning, then neither one of us is going to live till we're 40, so don't worry. It's all right.
Investment firms, many of you are here, many of you are good friends of mine, many of you are supporters. Sorry to do this to you, I'm so sorry. But you've driven up housing prices by purchasing hundreds of thousands of single-family homes, and it's been a great investment for them. Often as much as 10% of houses on the market. You know, the crazy thing is a person can't get depreciation on a house, but when a corporation buys it, they get depreciation. Okay, that's something we're going to have to think about too. I don't know if too many people think about that. You buy a corporation, they buy 500 houses.
I don't know if too many people think about that. Criticizing corporations buying housing when regular people can't afford to has been like the fucking centerpiece for all leftist criticism for at least the last 20 years.
They buy hundreds of thousands, they buy 500 houses, they can take depreciation. A person
This guy already said they aren't going after the corporations. Oh no.
They can't.
Doesn't
But homes
surprise
are
me
built
at
for
all, though,
people,
Neon.
not for corporations, and America will not become a nation of renters. We're not going to do that. That's why I have signed an executive order banning large institutional investors from buying single-family homes. It's just not fair to the public. They're not able to buy a house. And I'm calling on Congress to pass that ban into permanent law, and I think they will.
They will not.
One of the biggest barriers to saving for a down payment has been surging credit card debt. The profit margin for credit card companies now exceeds 50%, one of the biggest. And they charge Americans interest rates of 28%, 30%, 31%, 32%. Whatever happened to usury? So to help our citizens recover from the Biden disaster, all caused by this horrible, just horrible precedent, I'm asking Congress to cap credit card interest rates at 10%.
There will be nothing as vile as the time that he was attacking Biden for having cancer. I feel like that's the type of bottom of the barrel scum behavior that justifies people laughing at your death no matter how that death happens. Like, you know what I mean? Like, at that point, you've reached a level where I have like a long-standing rule where I don't celebrate death. Once this motherfucker croaks, might have to go back on that one. We'll see. We'll see.
For 1 year.
I'm definitely going back on that rule when Putin fucking kicks the bucket, though. I'm not gonna lie. We're doing the day Putin dies. I'm doing a subathon. You can fucking write that one down, okay, and hold me to it. The day Putin dies, we're doing a massive fucking subathon, and we're all getting drunk.
And this will help millions of Americans save for a home. They have no idea they're paying 28%. They go out there a little late in their payment and they end up losing their house.
Yes, we can, Oscar. We can do karaoke.
It's terrible. To unleash innovation in savings and financing, I'm also working to ensure America remains the crypto capital of the world.
I don't know, Yuri. I'd be
last year I
tempted.
signed the Landmark Genius
But I don't know
Act
if
into
like
law.
subathon
Now
kind of
Congress is
tempted.
working very hard on crypto market structure legislation, Bitcoin, all of them, which I hope to sign very soon, unlocking new pathways for Americans to reach financial freedom. And I did it for two reasons. Number one, I thought it was politically good, and it was. I got tremendous political support. But more importantly, China wanted that market too. It's just like they want.
Oh, no, add one more. Putin, Winnie the CCP poo, Trump, and Netanyahu. When Netanyahu kicks the bucket, we're celebrating. Bro, it is what it is, okay? It is what it is.
The AI. And we've got that market, I think, pretty
It would
well
be like
locked up,
one
but I didn't do
fewer
it.
fucking
Biden was
demon
totally
in the
against
world.
it until before the election, when they realized that, there were millions of people voting against him over crypto. And all of a sudden, they loved it very much, but it was too late. They blew it. But it is politically popular, but it's much more importantly, we have to make it so that China doesn't get the hold of it. And once they have that hold, we're not going to be able to get it back. So I'm honored to have done it. Finally, I've instructed government-backed institutions to purchase up to $200 billion in mortgage bonds to bring down interest rates. And I'll be announcing a new Fed chairman in the not-too-distant future. I think he'll do a very good job. See, I gave away some of it. He did give that away. So we have something, got something, but somebody that's very respected.
And Kim, the North... Yeah, Kim from the North... Kim Jong-un. Okay, let's do a list. Let's do a list of which deaths we can celebrate on stream. So obviously, like you were saying, Putin, the president of China, Winnie the Pooh, Trump, Netanyahu, Kim Jong-un, and Denis Novak. That used to be my neighbor when I was a kid, and he yelled at my dog once. And I feel like that's... we can add him to the list, right? I don't know when he's going to croak. I don't have him on Facebook or anything like that. But eventually that fucker's going to die. He was old already. He might already be dead. We might be one subathon behind. But I feel like we're adding that one to the list. Yeah, that 6 sounds good. If I add Musk to the mix, I feel like I'm cheapening it. You know what I mean?
They're all respected. They're all great. Everyone that I interviewed is great. Everyone could do, I think, a fantastic job. Problem is they change once they get the job. They do. You know, they're saying everything I want to hear, and then they get the job. They're locked in for 6 years. They get the job, and all of a sudden, let's raise rates a little bit. I call them, sir, we'd rather not talk about this. It's amazing how people change once they have the job. It's too bad.
Good, this good.
Sort of disloyalty, but they got to do what they think is right. We have a terrible chairman right now, Jerome. Too late Powell. He's always too late. And he's very late with interest rates, except before the election, he was just fine for the other side. So we're going to have somebody that's great, and we hope he does the right job. Last week, the average 30-year mortgage rate dropped below 6% for the first time in many years. Another major factor.
He's just going to be lying about mortgage. Can we jump to the next section?
The United States. The United States had a great quarter. The United States had a great month. All the stocks went up. And that's the way it's supposed to be. Now, when they say the United States had a record quarter, it's unbelievable how well it's doing. All the stocks crash because they say, oh no, inflation, they're going to raise interest rates. And they do. Some of these stupid people like Powell, they raise interest rates. And what they do is they stop you from being successful. It used to be when we had a great quarter, a great month, great earnings, great anything, any good news, the stock market went up. That's the way it's going to be. We got to do that again because that's the way it should be. Now, when we have a great month, they want to kill it. Like we did over. He's
never made the connection that maybe the month isn't so great. It's an actual toddler fucking piloting the old man.
5%. People were surprised. We should do 20%. We could do 25%. When we announce good numbers, and the reason is they're so petrified of inflation. And growth doesn't mean inflation. We've had tremendous growth with very low inflation. In fact, growth can fight inflation, proper growth. So we want to get back to the days when we announce great numbers, because we're going to be announcing phenomenal. You know, all these factories that are being built at record, thousands of businesses are being built right now. Remember, $18 trillion.
I think... Do you know what it might be, Neon? Do you know how there are people who think that, like, the way to deal with inflation is deflation? And they just don't understand that inflation never goes below a zero. It's just a matter of... you might be one of those people. You might genuinely be one of those people. Dude, you would not believe how many adults I've had a conversation with who would unironically tell me that we only always talk about inflation and when are we going to have a parliament that causes a deflation. And I'm just there like, you stupid motherfucker. There is no reason why your vote should be worth as much as mine. Fuck me.
Is invested. I think the second number is 3, and that was China.
I think you'll find the second number is 2, or 1, depending if we're starting from a 0, but no matter where you start from, it's not a 3.
Many years ago, investments in the country from outside, 18 trillion, nobody's ever seen, and that's money coming in and building things, factories. Thousands of businesses are being built, thousands. Hundreds of big factories, car plants are moving back to the United States. They're coming in from Canada. They're coming in from Mexico, from Japan. Japan's coming in and building plants here in order to avoid tariffs. They're coming in from China. They're coming in from all over the world. We have more plants being built now, car plants, than we've ever had built, even in the heyday from the 1940s and 50s.
One of my major fucking beefs with the US remains, you need to sort this tariff shit out and you need to sort your fucking, like, imbalances of power. I don't know why the fuck. There is a Chinese brand that does cosplay stuff, right? They're called Munatoshi, which is a Japanese name, but it's a Chinese brand. And they have like an almost fucking exclusive deal with the US. And all of the cosplay shit that I want to buy, I would have to have delivered from the US, which immediately triples the price of everything. Get that shit sorted out, bro. Get that shit sorted out. Because they do cool things and I want to buy things, but you ain't letting me buy things because they're ridiculously expensive. Actually, it'd be a 3 if you started from a 2 or counted only on even numbers. Nah, Amanax, nah, not allowed. I am making both of those illegal.
And they're bigger. They don't use renovations anymore where they take an old plant, they rip it down, they build a brand new plant, super modern plant. But it's happening.
Fucking buy Polish gaming chair from Yumisu. I don't need a gaming chair though. I have a good chair.
Happening at levels that nobody's ever seen. In 2024, the U.S. built less than 2 million new homes, but Biden admitted more than 8 million new migrants. And those days are over. In 2025, for the first time in 50 years, the United States had reverse migration. Boy, that was nice. And these were criminals that were being taken out of our country.
Reverse migration. People, I think that's just called people escaping from your country.
Because they allowed people to come into our country from
Also, no it didn't, just as like a side point.
jails, from gangs, drug dealers, murderers. 11,888 murderers. We've gotten most of them out. And then ICE gets beat up by stupid people from leadership in Minnesota. We actually are helping Minnesota so much, but they don't appreciate it. Most places do. You know, Washington, D.C. is the safest place now in the United States. It was a very dangerous place to walk. And now you can walk with your wife, your kids, right through the middle of the city. Right now, Washington, D.C. is as safe as it gets. It was one of the most unsafe, I had to admit. We sent in the military, the National Guard. Within 2 months, it was great. Within 3 months, it's like a really great place and a safe place and a beautiful place. It's even been cleaned up. The graffiti's gone. The fences are gone. We don't have to worry about fences anymore. All of the places, the grasses are cut and replaced with new grass in many cases. It's all going to happen in the spring.
What is
But
he on
Washington and
about?
D.C. is beautiful again, and it's safe. New restaurants are opening up. They were all closing. Now you can't get into a restaurant. Restaurants in Washington, D.C. are all opening. Memphis also, Memphis, Tennessee, New Orleans, Louisiana. We're there for 3 weeks. We've cut the crime down by 64%. Within another month, we'll have virtually no crime there. We can do that all over. We're going to help the people in California. We want to have no crime. I know Gavin was here. I used to get along so great with Gavin when I was president. Gavin's a good guy. And we're going to, if he needed it, I would do it in a heartbeat. I'd love to see. We did help them a lot in Los Angeles.
I will remind everyone, just on the off chance, I don't think anyone's buying any of this bullshit, but to my understanding, at least in the recent American history, Donald Trump remains the only president who has ever withdrew aid in cases of natural disaster from states because those were blue states. He would literally not help victims of a fucking hurricane because those people didn't vote for him.
A lot with the early in my term when they had some problems, but we would love to do it. I would say this, if I were a Democrat governor or whatever, I would call up Trump. I'd say, come on in, make us look good, because we're cutting crime down to nothing. And we're taking people out, career criminals who are only going to do bad things, and we're bringing them back to their countries. But where we've done it has been amazing, and we have a capacity to do it at much greater levels. We're cutting illegal aliens off welfare and other government benefits. And
He's also the only president in recent history to be mocked by multiple governors after threatening to send military aid to each state. Also true. Listening to him hurts my head. I feel you, Quill. I feel you. Democrats made the beautiful leaves fall off the DC trees, but to his credit, Trump is implementing a plan that should bring them back in the spring. I bet you, Cheetah, right now, you could send that exact shitpost in the fucking chat room of the Republican Reddit, and there are going to be so many people who are not going to understand the irony of that statement.
Directed that starting immediately, there will be no more payments to sanctuary cities because they are really just sanctuaries for criminals. They're really protecting criminals, and those are the ones we have to get out of the country. Murderers, drug dealers, the mentally insane. They emptied their mental institutions into the United States. And despite that, we have the lowest crime numbers that we've ever had in the history of the country. Just came out.
Ayo, did you watch Newsom's opinion on European politicians at Davos? Was this the one that he was saying that he should have brought knee pads for the lot for wanting to kowtow to Trump? I've seen I saw a clip of it. Yeah, that was unbelievably based. That's the thing as well with Newsom currently. There is so much shit that I could say about Newsom where he comes across like, I don't, there's something about him that I deeply dislike, but it doesn't matter, bro, because he is literally the only Democrat that I know of right now who's going as fucking hard as he's supposed to. Like, it's insane to me that people like Hassan are already, well, to be fair, he's been doing this for a while, but it's insane that, like, the attacks on Newsom have already started. Like, bro, this is the orange fucking buffoon. Like, fuck me. Fuck me.
But equally importantly, we're cracking down on more than $19 billion in fraud that was stolen by Somalian bandits. Can you believe that Somalia? They turned out to be higher IQ than we thought.
Good night, Amanax.
I always say these are low IQ people. How did they go into Minnesota and steal all that
I'll
money?
talk to you soon.
And we have, you know, they're pirates. They're good pirates, right? But we shoot them out of the water just like we shoot the drug boats out. They're not pirating too many boats lately, do you notice? When they go out into those boats, they want to take over $1.5 billion tanker loaded up with oil. And they say, we're going to blow up your boat. They have powerful weapons. You hit the side of the boat, you blow the whole thing up. The insurance companies are petrified. So they say, just give them the boat. We'll give them money instead. And I don't do that. We blow them right the hell out of the water. We see them going out, we blow them out of the water. We don't have any pirates so much anymore.
No,
we do.
Bad, Cheeto. Bad. This is bad. No.
They won't be there long. We've cut down with the hitting of the boats that are loaded up with drugs, including submarines. Can you believe they actually buy small, they call mini subs, very fast. They're meant for drugs. We've knocked out 2 of them. The Democrats say they were fishing. You have ruined somebody's fishing weekend. I would say a submarine is not a fishing boat. You don't fish. But we've knocked down drugs by water, the oceans, the sea.
Whoever runs his Twitter account for president, whoever runs his Twitter account is doing a brilliant job, unironically.
87.2%. Think of that. And I actually say, who the hell are the...
I do find it funny that it was a no-name podcaster who found all the fraud. We went over the whole Nick Shirley thing. He didn't find shit. Nick Shirley, there's been an investigation into it, started under Biden. There have been people in jail. Nick Shirley went to a daycare that opens up at 2. At 11 and was surprised that he can't find any kids. Nick Shirley, the whole reason why his whole fucking video on this got signal boosted was to take attention away from the fucking Epstein files that were dropped shortly before. He found nothing. You should do yourself a favor, engineer. Watch the Nick Shirley interview with Andrew Callahan in Channel 5. And you will see just how fucking stupid Nick is. He went to a lot of them in that video. Yeah, and if he only went to any of them after the time that they were supposed to have been opened at, maybe he would have found some kids, which is also a pretty pedophilic thing to do, but I understand that wasn't the purpose. We were just poking fun the other day at the fact that he was saying that it's very weird that these places have like tinted windows and he can't just look at the kids. And we were just saying that, like, I know what he's saying. I understand what he's saying. That is a fucking weird sentence to utter out loud. That is a proper fucking... Oh, you know? But yeah, no, genuinely, watch that interview. I'm telling you, he didn't uncover shit. Anyone committing fraud needs to be fucking jail deported, whatever the fuck. But he went to daycares that open at 2 before their opening time. People from these daycares have come forward and said that their kids go there. There's also a Nick's response and then channel. Yeah, Marak. I've watched them both privately. I was going to watch them today on stream, but I don't know if we'll have the time for it. Do you have kids? I do not have kids, no. But in my defense, even if I had kids, I don't think they'd be going to Somali daycares in America. No, engineer, he showed us the opening times in the video. He went there before they open. Like, those specific ones open after the time that he went there. Shirley was committing fraud. He tried to convince the country has a functioning brain. Honestly, watch the interview with Andrew Callahan. It's a good interview. They go over a decent amount of things. You'll see what I mean.
3%. because I would not want to be piloting one of those boats. We knocked them down, and now we're going to start on land. We're going to knock it all out. The land is the easy part. What we did on sea is incredible, and that's our great military. The situation in Minnesota reminds us that the West cannot mass import foreign cultures which have failed to ever build a successful society of their own. I mean, we're taking people from Somalia, and Somalia is a failed, it's not a nation. Got no government, got no police, got no military, got no nothing. And then we have this fake congressperson who they just reported is worth $30 million. You believe this? Ilhan Omar, talking about the Constitution that provides me. She comes from a country that's not a country, and she's telling us how to run America. Not going to get away with it much longer, let me tell you.
Yep.
The explosion.
Curious what you mean by this one, you fucking freak. We all know what he means by that, but it's a curious choice of language there.
Of prosperity and conclusion and progress that built the West did not come from our tax codes. It ultimately came from our very special culture. This is the precious inheritance that America and
again, I will just reiterate, Angyyyy, just on the fraud shit, I will again reiterate that he is uncovering fraud that people have already been prosecuted for. Like, what is he uncovering if there are already court cases about this?
Europe have in common. We share it. We share it, but we have to keep it strong.
I thought we share it. It appears like you have a different kind of culture to me, though.
More successful and more prosperous than ever. We have to defend that culture and rediscover the spirit that lifted the West from the depths of the Dark Ages to the pinnacle of human achievement. We live in a incredible, changing period.
True. Hopefully you're not gonna, you're not gonna be living in that period for too much longer, right? You're fucking old as shit. I'm not hoping for an assassination or anything as such, just the old age to do its thing.
Believable time, but we have to take advantage of the time that we're in. In our hands are technologies that our ancestors could scarcely have. I mean, they couldn't even.
Is there more of Nick Shirley's response than what we watched yesterday? There is 15 minutes of him on a plane, Cheeto. Oh, do you mean Nick? Oh, sorry, you mean Nick Shirley? No, there's this. Ha ha ha. Andrew just dropped a 15-minute masterclass on how to deceptively edit an interview. Good work. Clap. Here is the full interview for anyone interested. And then they've responded, dog, Andrew literally offered to send you all the raw files and gave you full permission to post whatever you wanted. Why are you acting like this is some kind of a gotcha? Big boober. I like the boober. So there is this and the 15 minutes on the plane, and there's nothing more than that, I don't think.
We even dreamt some of the things that we see today. And so rapidly they're produced. I mean, AI, 2 years ago, nobody ever heard of the term, and now everybody's talking about it. And it can have some very good purpose. It could also have some dangerous purpose, and for that we have to watch out. But some tremendous things are happening because of it. And we're leading by so much. We're doing so well. But opportunities that are bigger and grander than ever before in human history are right before us. It is the pioneers in this room. Many of you in this room are true pioneers. You're truly brilliant people. Just your ability to get a ticket is brilliant because you have about 50 people for every seat. I don't know what, that's Larry. Everything Larry touches turns to gold. He made this very successful. But you're in this room. And some of you are the greatest leaders anywhere in the world. You're the greatest brains anywhere in the world.
And it is the greatest hill you've ever seen, Loa.
The future is unlimited, and to a large part because of you. And we have to protect you, and we have to cherish you. I always say we have to cherish our brilliant people because there aren't many of them. So together with confidence, boldness, and persistence, let us lift up our people, grow our economies, defend our shared destiny, and build a future for our citizens that is more ambitious, more exciting, more
Well, you're assuming he knows what that bill said, Quill.
The world has ever seen. We're in a position to do things that nobody else has ever even thought of before. And many of the people in this room are the ones that are doing it. And I want to congratulate you, and I'm with you all the way. You can do things that nobody else can even think about. So I congratulate you on your tremendous success. And the United States is back. Bigger, stronger, better than ever before. And
that was such a good opportunity.
Back, bigger, stronger.
Right here, he could have fucking transitioned into the Daft Punk song. and changed this into a proper fucking American concert. You know what I mean? They could have rolled in, fucking pushed in from above on ropes and shit, just drop down onto the stage and start blasting. Could have said windmill here. He should have said windmill here. That would have been so... I miss the windmills, man. I miss the windmill.
Better than ever before, and I'll see you around. Thank you all very much. Thank you very much.
Now, I know that he's going to do some questions now, but unfortunately, chat, we have run out of time. It is currently 39 minutes past 10 on the Polish clock right here. I've got a little bit of prepping still to do before I fly out tomorrow, so I will be calling it a day. Check Discord, mate. I will check Discord before I leave.
Wealth, fame, power. Donald J. Trump achieved this and everything else the world had to offer. And his...
I don't think... Fuck, hold on. I don't think I'll be able to show that because of the format that it's in. I will show it next stream, Stepan. Remind me, I'll download it and I'll pull it up properly, because in that format, I can't pull it up on my main screen. Night night, Chief. Hope you get paid overtime. I've only been live for 2 hours and 24 minutes, or is that the joke, that I haven't been live for long enough? But you know what? Fuck you. Fuck you. I'm in pain and I don't enjoy it. I feel you. But look, it's important that we listen to these geriatrics now and then. I'm just trying to keep my finger on the pulse to determine how fucking insane the world has gotten. It is rough. I'm going to raid this into Gust, and then I will be immediately heading out. So if Gust starts asking questions to me, one of you guys take over for me. Let him know that I unfortunately have to dip. I will be with you, not on Friday, because I will be abroad. I'll be back next Wednesday with a regularly scheduled stream. Thank you for being here. Good night. Take care. Sleep tight. And until next Wednesday, don't fucking die. Okay? I don't have that many of you in here. I can't afford to lose any. Take care. Bye-bye, YouTube. I prefer you guys to the Twitch chat. Infinitely more. But just don't tell them I told you. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.